pre-pump on this one, which I thought was very concerning. So you have some insider trading paired with also token holders getting screwed.
Lovely.
Welcome to crypto, I guess, in 2025. This needs to stop. This isn't a serious industry when things like this happen. The only way you stop this is you tie the token directly back to the company itself, whereby token holders are getting some intrinsic benefits tied to the company, right? In our model, for example, assuming that some company on our platform got acquired and used our model, used ERP, essentially what would happen is that say they got acquired for $100 million. If there was a 5% circulating supply, $5 million would pass back to SOAR, which we would then be able to distribute at our deference back to token holders, right? So there is no rug in that case. There is no you getting screwed. The value gets passed back to you. You're happy because the company succeeded, and token holders and everyone walks away happy, right? Unfortunately, in this case, and what we've seen with KOL Scan and Padre and a bunch of other cases is that you don't own anything. The sooner people realize that, and the sooner people start buying things that actually give you ownership, the better off we are.
I think we saw the exact same playbook with Padre. Actually, we saw pre-announcement token pump on Padre mysteriously happen. We saw the acquisition, it nuked because people found out there's no value. And then it seemed like Pump Fund kind of walked it back on that and said, hey, actually, we pre-planned this. We're going to give you guys some sort of one-to-one value in the pump token. Do we see something like that for Tensor?
I don't think they do, because Tensor still has a marketplace. So they're going to play it like, oh, they still have other products that you can invest in. But the reality is that Tensor as a product has been quite quiet for, 2 years now, I guess, going back to 2023 when they got pretty popular. They took, at one point they did flip, I believe, Magic Eden, if I'm speaking about the right product.
Yeah, they did. When I think they were doing a points program, so everyone kind of jumped over.
Mm-hmm.
But so why is it important to companies for companies to have some underlying value? We've seen, I think, token utility be a big battle with people where it's like, oh, I launch a token, but it's really hard to integrate any sort of meaningful utility. And then you guys kind of slash that by saying, well, we'll just give you straight, some tie to the company here. Maybe tell us why that's important. And we can talk about CPT too, the first project that launched through you guys that's doing this coming up.
Yeah. So number one, Web2 companies, we always want them to come on chain for the first time, right? The reality is that trying to tie utility into Web2 companies is nearly impossible. You can do discounts and fees and this and that. It never works. There is actually no value accrual right there. What you end up seeing is people come on chain, they launch a token, they drive all the value back to their Web2 equity, right, or entity. And then eventually the token just fades away because there actually is no value accrual. And then we have people screaming on Twitter like, why are people not valuing our companies at 20x PE ratios, right? It's like, because you don't own anything. Like, at the end of the day, there's value when you own a share. You can talk about how much value you actually get, but tokens, they'll enable you to get value in simply buybacks or, greater fool theory, right? That's what you're buying into, is those two theories there.
Okay, so maybe talk a bit about your pipeline. I think that's one thing that excites me the most about SOAR. You guys went live with CPT as your first launch. Obviously, you deeply vetted them. There's some people have certain things to say about them, which I think we'll address later on. But what's your pipeline looking like? Any more launches coming up? What should the people be really paying attention to?
Yeah, our pipeline is huge. So we took a little bit of break after CPT. There was a bunch of, to the first stage products. So we wanted to go back and fix, improve trading. There's a couple different things with our fee structuring that we wanted to amend. We'll be back next week for sure. We have some really cool stuff coming up. I'm super excited about the next one. I think it's the first time on chain that you'll be able to invest in this type of product. So it's a product that you see everywhere, and I'll leave it at that. That's my little bit of a hint to you. But we also have a ton of other stuff coming, a bunch of really cool AI products, some of which are one product has over 1 million users right now, a couple $1 million in revenue a year. Another AI product, which I think is great and very novel. Their closest comp in crypto is $500 million token, and they're tokenizing for the first time. So a bunch of really random stuff. We want to diversify and enable people to invest in whatever they want to. Whatever your interests are, we're going to have something for you on SOAR pretty quickly.
You guys had a little bit of sniper action going on for the CPT launch. How have you guys, maybe realigned yourself going into the next one to avoid that?
Yeah, it's always a fun cat and mouse game, right? It's like any bot at its core. We've put a lot of thought into basically how, dissecting how the sniper actually got access early on. So we're going to change up the methods of how to do so. I think we'll win on this one. I think we will lose inevitably in the future. But like I said, it's always going to be changing things and kind of changing how we release things. I know people want us to do some whitelist stuff. So we have talked about that internally. For some of the bigger stuff, we probably most certainly will do that. The higher value stuff will be something that we want to whitelist and just give people that are active on the platform, people that are trading a lot, our best holders, maybe give them a little bit of early access so that we don't have to fight snipers.
Let's talk about that. Mario says, Captain, I feel the SOAR VIP badge advantage is revealing soon. Is this going to be some ties to the VIP badge, to holder benefits? How can we get access to whitelists on specific projects?
Next week, there's going to be a nice rollout that I think everyone will enjoy. And you'll see a little bit of some new stuff coming. I think that'll tie directly back to next week.
Dom,
Eyes on for next week. Eyes on Soar.
I do
I have
wanna,
notifications on, Tom.
yeah, totally. And I do want to show off the platform real quick before we get too far into the conversation. So this here is the Soar homepage. The number one thing to look out for, because there's 1,500 projects, but only one currently curated. So you really want to find this curated badge. Tom, can you talk to us about a curated launch versus a non-curated launch?
Totally. So we basically have 3 different levels of launches on the platform right now. So we have like permissionless, i.e. anyone can go deploy a token. Then we have a verified launch. That means that we have a third party that actually KYB and KYCs your launch. So you know that you're not investing in a company that's hacked, right? We do domain verification, for example. You're getting a non-hacked website. You're getting a company that is KYB'd and actually exists an entity. And the third thing is you're KYCing, right? So the founders are actually KYCing to us. So all of those things are things that I think in ICM, if you're running a real business, you shouldn't be undocked for the most part, right? Very hard to be a person that's hidden and also running a company as a CEO. So we basically enable everyone in that verified to say, hey, I'm a real person, hey, I'm a real business. I want to launch my token. Here it is, right? And the last one is this curated, which takes the verified, everything that verified is, and then also is, I wouldn't say incubated by us, but we have a lot of in-depth conversations with them. We see if they're legit, are they building, do they have the TAM opportunity, the large outsized opportunity that we think requires or deserves a curated badge. So that's the highest level of DD that our team does. We meet with people in person. We meet with them over multiple video calls. We see how far along they are. And like I said, how big their upside is one of the things that we look at a lot.
Look at that. I have an early flyer badge. I noticed this on my profile. Also, guys, this really cool, I don't even know what you call this.
We call it the boarding pass.
Awesome, the boarding pass.
I like
and
that.
then if you zoom it in, like if you look really closely, there's some funny lore in there, but I won't say it on stream. You can go find it.
Go to the top and go to launch on Soar, and then slash in loyalty. So I'll send you the link. Hold on.
Yeah.
Also, can we do a quick check on, if you go to the search bar, I want to see if that the Narrow Dom account surpassed Tom.
Oh, no.
So
I
Tom
don't think
has
so.
193.
But almost Wenzel. You almost got Wenzel, so that's a dub. But yeah.
Wenzel's just one piece of the puzzle. I got to knock off Captain Beef up there.
Here, gentlemen.
How about the name though? You know, I got the Dom 3-letter username. It's pretty OG,
The
right?
Dom is fire. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of jealous because my name is so long on this platform.
Dude. Terrible.
We also added a bunch. I don't know if you saw, but we added a bunch of social features this week in terms of notifications. The forums are getting a little bit more revamped. So constantly thinking about how we can engage people on the platform a little bit more. I don't want to say chat because it's like I get clowned, but we are making sure that people can communicate.
Wow, this design and UI is beautiful.
It'll be a lot better next week. This is just a little teaser that I figured you guys might want to see. I don't even know if you can see it on the website yet.
Okay, Tom, you said there would be benefits for buying on app, holding on app, potentially benefits, I should clarify. We saw there were some challenges buying CPT on the app, just lots of people, lots of traffic. It was a little laggy, tough fills. Should we be buying on app that come the next launch?
So no, because that coming soon button is going to change to a connect your wallet button very quickly. So you'll be able to connect a cold wallet, Ledger, whatever, etc. I would prefer people buy an app just because I like seeing people use it. I also like seeing if there's any bugs with buying because we did improve a lot of stuff. But if you're using a trading terminal, etc., you're welcome to do so. Just make sure next week, come when this announcement comes out, you connect that wallet over there, no matter what wallet you're trading on. So that's my tip there.
Is it like an internal discussion to try to give some sort of edge for in-app users rather than, obviously you have all the information there, right? That's a big edge, I guess you could say. But like, is there going to be some sort of push to give a benefit to buying in-app rather than buying on terminals?
We do have a structure set up internally. We haven't used it yet, whereby buying on the app would be your best bet for early launch. So yes, I would like to get people kind of force them onto the platform a little bit more for certain launches. Otherwise, I don't really care that much about it. But we want to make the experience more akin to, maybe like a Robinhood buying experience over time. So we'll have some limit orders and stuff that we probably add in the next couple months.
So as far as the trading experience, like what's the overall vision for the trading experience on Soar? Like, I know it's mostly a platform where typically you just buy and hold, but are you going to like add in some more features? Like what's the broader vision for the trading on Soar?
So the broad vision is that in a lot of ways, the platform operates as this early stage stock market, right? That's what we've thought about it for a long time. So what are some of the pros of a stock market, right? Like having bigger indices is something that we'd like to add at some point. Within legal boundaries, we have to think about that, but it would be cool to have some indices whereby there's a certain group of projects that you're able to kind of diversify across without having to click 50,000 buttons to do so.
Would they be Soar exclusive indexes?
More than likely, yes. Because we have so many projects in the pipeline, we're going to be able to very quickly build out this little NASDAQ, et cetera, right? Of different projects that we feel like are high quality. And obviously there's some value in diversifying so that, you minimize your fluctuations every day. The second thing, like I mentioned earlier, is like limit orders, things like that. We're also looking into some type of futures. In some ways, I'm so sick of like perps being a thing.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of people getting liquidated. I almost like the idea of like I trade stocks a good bit, right? And I always just buy calls. Like I enjoy buying calls because I can just sit on them and not worry about getting liquidated the following morning. So I have thought a lot about if we go back to just doing some type of calls and puts options on some of these tokens. It would be quite interesting to do. It also enables us to add different trading experiences. So things that are all in the works. I don't need to rush it though. Our main focus is onboarding projects. Like we want good stuff on the platform. The rest of that all comes in time.
So we have 5 minutes left here, and I want to go through this first launch because CPT was the first launch. It's a drone / energy wireless energy transfer company. It's really cool. We won't spill all the beans, but we'll talk about the structure of the launch. So what's unique about your launches is the tokens are secured by a senior debt note. Is that correct?
Yep, it is.
And
Senior debt.
Super senior debt. The circulating market cap is about 10% or maybe a bit less than the FDV. Can you just walk us through this structure here?
And also, real quick before that too, I'll just pull up my screen because someone had a question.
Oh, that question about I know what there is.
Yeah. Okay.
I already answered this on Twitter, but I'll happily answer it again.
Yes, please.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so CPT, full disclosure, 5% into the bonding curve in LP, right? So that's that 5% that represents the senior debt. And then additionally, they had a market maker. So 1% went to a market maker paired with USDC. So they sent dual-sided liquidity. I think I talked about that last time I was on the show.
Yeah.
So for a grand total of 6% floating circulating supply, right? That is currently tradable. Now, to add on to that, if you go on, I think CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, right? Technically, by their definition, it is 10%. And I'll tell you why. The market maker and centralized exchange wallet, which can only be released upon verification through myself or one of our team members. We have to say, hey, this is a real market maker, this is a real centralized exchange, right? And then we actually send the tokens directly to that entity. They never go to the team, but they're unlocked and they are technically by CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko definitions circulating, right? They're not actually circulating because they're sitting in wallets. You can look at a tracker and see that. 1% of tokens goes to our treasury. They aren't going to be sold, obviously. They just stay in the treasury. They're our investment in the company, if you want to think about it that way. Those tokens also technically are not locked. They're just sitting in a wallet, will not be touched. When you go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, they have a bunch of requirements, and we have to just confirm that, hey, these tokens aren't technically locked. Thereby, they say 10%. Realistically, the 6% that shows on the website is actually what's tradable, what will actually hit the open market.
Got it. A few features I just want to highlight here for people because this is unique to this platform and I think solves a lot of problems. Is you have issuer verification. You have also these things called artifacts. So in here you can actually see things like, I haven't looked at this one, so actually I want to go check it out. But things like the patent filing, their deck, obviously. So I'll show this. This is actually CPT's patent filing, and we're gonna ask Patrick about some of these things here. But this isn't just like issue token, source done. There's a chain of custody of information and documents that are kind of backing this issuance. So really unique. First,
it's how you're supposed to invest in startups at the end of the day, right? Like this on-chain where I'm trying to figure out if their website's hacked or their Twitter's hacked or if they're real people. Like it's for the birds, man. Like it was fun for a little while, and then I get rugged 5,000 times in a row, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, number one, I'm not good at this. Number two, like I would just like some type of verification that the companies are real. So we need to create a really trusted environment. Will we always be right and correct? No, but we're trying our best to really put good stuff, quality stuff on there.
And one last feature that I love is this message board here. It's a forum, pretty JSON. He says he fucking loves this. So that's awesome. But also Patrick coming in with an update. Again, founder comms to the core holder community as well as on X. So I'll leave her there because we have to wrap in a minute. Maybe Tom, final thought.
Yeah. I think we're at an inflection point. Obviously the market sucks, but I think that the ICM guys and ICM community are extremely strong, to be honest with you. Like they're all holding the line and being like, ICM's a great hedge. I fully agree. The beautiful thing about, investing in companies is that they don't go to zero overnight, like some of our bags, unfortunately. So I can sleep comfy at night knowing that the stuff I'm trying to buy and invest in is going to be stuff whereby the company is still functioning. They're not affected by the broader market downswings and such. Bitcoin and Ethereum are great, but once we get past that, most altcoins are not great. And the reality is it's just a value accrual problem, right? These, go on base and you trade on base, right? Where are the fees going? They're going to Coinbase. They're going to Coinbase's balance sheet. At the end of the day, they take care of equity holders first. That doesn't work for tokens, right? In general, we need one single source of value accrual. Our model is the best public way to do so. I'll be honest with you. I highly recommend that if you're a serious company and you're looking to launch and actually show your holders that they mean something to you, using our standard or something very similar to it is the only way to say we're accruing all of our value back to our token. Equity and token are in a lot of ways intrinsically linked. And I think the market will reward you, to be honest with you, when you use a model like this. So that's
Tom,
my final thoughts.
And we're at time, but I need these answers. Can you speed run them in 1 minute? Firstly, are we planning on juicing liquidity for next launch? I know some people are saying, well, liquidity is super thin. I don't like that. And how's revenue looking from the first launch?
Cool. Yes, we're looking at different ways to improve liquidity ASAP. Bonding curves are funny in that way, right? Second thing, revenue is excellent. Really happy with the first launch. Need to scale up for sure, but like I said, we're taking our time, doing everything right, getting good quality stuff on there. We've had a lot of opportunities to throw garbage so far. Pass on all of them. Want to be high quality. Not going to sacrifice, our reputation for some quick bucks. Never will. Not in our intention. So very good, but we need to scale up more.
Love it, love it. Thanks, Tom. As always, it's a pleasure, brother. We'll
Thank
be
you,
keeping those tabs
gentlemen.
on SOAR and probably be talking soon.
It's kind of like a brain trust, more of a institutional tech founders in Web2, co-founders of massive fintech companies that are interested in crypto. But while we're in SF, we're building a natural hub there. So we're currently floating around our pitch deck for grants and sponsors and people who want to take part in that. But we're going to be setting up a perpetual house there. Man, we all flew out there, the whole DAO, 9 of us, including the SOAR team, by the way. Shout out SOAR guys.
Let's go.
Absolutely love. We love a team that shows the fuck up, boys. Like, there's a lot of teams out here that talk a good game, talk about how they're mass onboarding, but like, there's nothing better than actually just like showing up, And none of the mentors of the DAO and a few others all flew out that stuff. Stayed out at the Dallas Delphin office. Shout out Bowski hosting us. Amazing office venue. Could host like 400 people there if we wanted to. It was a really, really great spot for us to host events. Kicked it with the other builders on SF, like the MetaDAO team and some other great builders too. And we hosted an event. We hosted about like 90, I would say max 90, maybe 100. Couldn't really talk because I was a doorman the whole night. But we hosted about 90 to 100 people. It was a really cool experience, man. And I think a lot of people talk about like onboarding Web2 founders. It was really important for me that, if we're going to be leading on that category, that we're not just like doing it through the internet. We want to go like meet founders where they're at. And yeah, it was a really, really, really cool experience.
Can you explain the vibe and comms to those people? Because obviously I think we've kind of broke into that space because people made a mistake on X launching a token, but then they also kind of just had a different angle than the crypto native angle. Can you just talk about how you guys message to founders? And yeah, Dom, you can keep that. I was just wanting to.
Man,
I can't keep it up. My thing's bugging, Josh. So maybe you can pull
sorry.
up.
I got you.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, what I was going to say is it's a really good question, and we have some really great findings, guys. Like, ultimately, what happened was you have to think about who's aligned with having the conversation. When you're talking to Web2 tech founders, there's a persona that people that go to SF that I would say that are perceived as typically parasitic. These in the Web2 world, it's usually VC scouts. Like Web2 tech founders perceive them as like parasitic. And I think ultimately what ended up happening was after speaking to a lot of founders there, they perceive like crypto launch pads no differently. They just perceive them as like the only reason why you're talking to me is that you hope that I'm going to launch a token ultimately, right? That's all you're kind of hoping out of the situation, right? You're not actually trying to create like something that's like educating founders. You're not trying to like create this environment for this track pack. You're just trying to get me to be like iPad Gen 1 user for your benefit. And I think a lot of people perceived it that way. When we went out there, the rule was no onboarding. We're not here to like get people to download Phantom wallets. We're not here to convince people, crypto's the best rails. We just talk to founders about what they're doing, right? What are they building? What product market do they have? What stage of the company that they're in? What kind of acceleration they're looking to do? Like what they're trying to do over the next few months? What are their goals over the next few months? And if they're raising capital. And some of them answer, yeah, I'm raising this much capital, I'm raising that much capital on the Series A. I'm saying, I'm a seed. I'm actually in the middle of a merger. Oh, my company just got acquired. Yada yada yada. The whole point of us going as founder.run is so that the beginning part of the conversation didn't have to be a word that they had to understand like ICM. Frankly speaking, raising capital on chain is not so drastically different than actually just raising capital traditionally. It's just that we put these people through this track, right? And ultimately, it's just a misalignment incentives. ICM.run can do this for 2 years and never have to launch a token for any one of these projects. We have that runway where we're not financially incentivized to like get as many of these people to launch as quickly as possible. So that gives us like a longer runway of a conversation, just a longer runway. We get to earn more trust. We get to meet them where they're at and just have like real conversations instead of trying to like, dude, just get some kind of
and are they asking about the funding model? Like, are they saying, are you guys capitalists? And then when you say like, oh, we're like this DAO of crypto people with money,
we're an alternative capital raising ecosystem. alternative capital
Do you
raising.
think even
ecosystem.
that sets off like alarms or the bells?
No, dude, listen. Ultimately, people are smart. By the way, for what it's worth, you find when you actually do the onboarding in person, you find that the majority of people's exposure to crypto is actually all not that negative. It's just the reality is like you see the loud minority on socials. But like when you go actually in person and sit down and actually talk to founders, it was like maybe once or twice we spoke to a founder that had some other founder they knew in SF that got involved in crypto. But when they say how that person got involved in crypto, it was like them buying fucking XRP. You know, their exposure,
Classic.
their exposure to the conversation had nothing to do with like dApps, protocols, building software companies on chain. It had like no exposure with raising capital. So this like what we perceived as this community of founders that, whoa, you would never launch a token, bro. Like we see it all over socials. Many of these founders were very open to the conversation if they could have the time to understand it. But ultimately, the reason why so far they haven't had the chance to understand it is because the people who were doing the onboarding push these guys into a pipeline to launch a token. And that's not the mission. You know what I mean? The mission is to educate Web2 founders about this financial vehicle. You know what I mean? And like educate the long tail part of it. People grossly underestimate how much founders talk to other founders. In this crypto space, meme coin devs, we don't interact with each other. They don't like interact with each other. They have their own groups of people. But like traditional founders, like Web2 founders, all they do is spend time watching founder content and talking to other founders, especially in SF. So ultimately, it's a bit of a numbers game. It's a bit of like a long tail mission. We're going to set up a hub there. We're going to host multiple events there. We want to host debates between Web2 tech leaders and Web3 tech leaders. I want to host the founders of Venmo, and I want to host the founders of like a protocol on Solana. I think these conversations have like a lot of value from them, but unfortunately, the only reason why they haven't happened yet is because the people leading the conversation sort of had a horse in the race, if that makes sense.
You guys are kind of pivoting into, I shouldn't say pivoting. You actually did use that word. So, and I have a tweet pulled up in private.
He's going to kill me when he watches this video, dude. Kitty Cunt's going to absolutely murder me. He's like, do not say that word.
Yeah, I think I agree with him. I think pivoting gives the wrong impressions. Like you still are completely have the same mission as you continue to say. And Josh, I sent that in private chat if you want to pull it up what I'm referencing. But you guys are now expanding the ecosystem of ICM.run, right? And there's 3 pillars to that. And I'd love for you to kind of go through them. Actually, in this tweet, before we even, I'll preface that. In this tweet I have pulled up now, it says, you write the tweet, tell them we're the first on-chain incubator. They don't know how to value that. Announce we're incubating a new protocol, price pumps. It's going to take months to ship it live. People get bored, nuke it. Start quietly incubating our own protocols. They don't know they don't know we can just bring our own protocols, incubate to market. Tell everyone we can get to $1 million a month in fees for stakers. They think that's a stretch. And then you drop here, MFW. We already made a protocol 3.6 million in free fees from our ecosystem. Okay, so maybe tell us how you've made a protocol 3.6 million fees, who that's been, and what you guys are doing now to expand that to your own ecosystem.
Adjacent launchpads. Let's just keep it simple. I'm not going to name names. I think there's not many. I think many people can do the math. But adjacent protocols. And what that really means is like, mostly adjacent launchpads, adjacent protocols. Mostly adjacent launchpads though. What we found when we're getting this massive surge of founders that were coming through our pipeline, also neobanking is like another really big one too. I'll get into like more of that later, but essentially they were applying to our DAO, they're applying to our incubator. They're in mass volume, and how I would describe them are ICM utility tokens. Many of the type of tokens you'd see on Believe app. Not to say that they couldn't be like tokenized equity, not to say that they wouldn't fit it, but ultimately they're the type of tokenized utility products that probably SOAR isn't going to accept at the moment. It's probably the ones that MetaDAO is not going to accept at the moment, just because they're both centralized launchpads, trying to go permissionless for the most part. But again, they're still mostly centralized launchpads. And then maybe if SOAR isn't centralized, because they actually are permissionless. I should clarify that just for the fact that they are actually permissionless. But to become a curated, that is a centralized decision. Many of the launchpads, they just don't feel like are a good fit for them. So they end up just going on to like the anything launchpad. And that could be many different launchpads for what it's worth too, And even for what it's worth, the goal isn't to like convince anybody that joins Founder.run to, go through a launchpad in our ecosystem or go through like a neobanking software in our ecosystem. But the hard reality of it is that ultimately ICM.run really brings our own ball, our own court, our own players, our own stands, our own food stands. We really bring everything to other people's courts. And oftentimes we find that we have to advocate for that value. And I think what we're realizing as we're bringing protocols to market is that our DAO is fucking stacked, excuse my language, absolutely stacked. Some of the best product builders in crypto. A lot of people don't know who the mentors are, but if you do your research on them, they're all giga product builders, right? All of them. I chose that intentionally, specifically because I didn't want like a bunch of like idea guy mentors, So ultimately what we decided is we're spending a lot of time doing incubation. We might as well just incubate the founders and the mentors who have stake in ICM to build protocols natively in the ICM.run ecosystem. And I think that's what I mean by capturing volume, capturing fees, capturing just capturing the generational flow that's flowing through a DAO. Is that just makes more sense for us to like incubate our own protocols, simply put.
There's a lot going on in this tweet that we're referencing here, from making ICM holders liquid through, fees, staking and staking fees. Can we just start from the top of this and kind of go through this tweet where you outline the verticals that you guys are expanding into, how you're still staying and doing the same thing? Maybe just walk us through this tweet, TLDR, if you want.
Yeah, I think the simplest put is we still are incubating projects that are applying to the DAO. And typically how we incubate those projects is we agree some type of token sharing value that goes in our smart contract treasury, which is paid out when the DAO disseminates. Every 6 months, the DAO holds a vote. Current trajectory is currently 2 years is what we're expecting at the moment. And that's where we'll make a long-term decision if we're going to continue staying open. When the DAO disseminates, the entire supply of tokens that are in the treasury gets distributed. That's like pillar one. We incubate projects, we bring in the market. The other pillar, of course, is like other concepts like, building like founder highways, like founder.run, and investing in a hub in SF, investing in doing tours, investing in doing education, even if that means we don't do all the value capture all the time. It's about building like a distribution highway to the protocols that we're building as well, the ones that we're incubating. The thing that we find though, while we're incubating these protocols is we are expending actually the same level of product development support, UI UX support, design support, product go-to-market strategy, user capture strategy. We're finding ourselves doing so much of the work that we're looking at the founders within our own DAO and thinking we should probably just be incubating our own protocols and developing them and growing them on top of our ecosystem. And this isn't to say that.
What's an example of a protocol? Like, are we talking about trading infrastructure? Like, can you give us a concrete example of one?
Yeah. So, I gave him a call before this to see what I could say, and I got approval. One of the mentors of the DAO has a serious institutional background. And he is building a tokenized equities launchpad. It is a proper, legally SEC compliant, multi-legal reviewed, essentially documentation and legal strategy for how they want to pull this off. And I can't say much. I have a lot of respect for this mentor, and I obviously respect what he's building. There's a lot of really great people from our DAO who are already kind of previously and now all mixed, all involved. So it's a bit of like a kind of like a fast growing product that they're developing together. But that's just one example. I really can't wait to say more about it, by the way. That's something like I'm really stoked about, something that's going to take time, to come to market. But, some of the other ones, for example, are one of the mentors is building a meritocracy based launchpad concept. I would say it's close to a comparable of Echo on Solana. It's a really cool concept. I'm not going to steal the fire from his flame either. For what it's worth, both of these mentors already have their own distribution. Like they already building they're already building these products. They already have their own network of customers, users, user acquisition. They already planned for it, for what it's worth. But since these founders are building the ICM ecosystem, they're committing fees from the protocol to go to ICM stakers. And this is important to us because ultimately we really want to reward the DAO for engaging and experiencing products that we're building, and give some of the upside to the people that are kind of like notably in the ICM ecosystem, which is the majority of the DAO. And I think like what better way that we could do that than helping people who are helping build protocols that we're a part of, rewarding them for the upside of it, getting them involved with the protocols, making them feel like they're leading the direction. We might not be in a state today where equity on chain is meaningful, but fee distribution dividends is a really phenomenal way to also provide value direct to token. And I think until we get to a stage where like tokenized equity makes a lot of sense, it just makes the most sense for ICM.run to scale this way, where we can distribute the value that we're generating to the holders, to the believers of our DAO.
Can we touch on some of those value accrual mechanisms you have? I think for GMCG, GICM guys, man, welcome back. Happy Monday. How we feeling?
Yo.
Josh sent it in the private chat. Yeah, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. It is what it is, guys. Look, if you don't have a house sweatshirt that you just wear around the house, I don't. Hoodie. Everyone has one, right, Chill?
Mine is a hoodie. Like I got this Hollister hoodie. I just love wearing it at the crib.
No, all good. It was a low key troll, but I love it.
Let's go, man. How are you guys feeling? The weekend, I never trust a little weekend pump, but the weekend gave us. I'd rather have a scam pump on the weekend than just a full dump on the weekend. So
yeah. No, is it holding today though? Is it holding today?
Yeah. I mean, not too bad. I mean, look, these are the best candles we've had in a little while. So I'll take whatever I can get at this point. I guess I can pull up my chart, but yo, MCG fam, hope you guys are doing well. Back with another big week. A King's mentality. Greetings, GM, GMCG, GICM, GSOAR, GMET, G Pump, low key G ETH, but Bitcoin here.
It's never G ETH, bro.
It's never G ETH. Chill, bro. ETH 15K. Still undeterred, bro.
Yeah,
Uh,
undeterred from April.
What's the time frame in 100 years or?
yeah, something like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, but look, guys, this Bitcoin chart is finally looking somewhat constructive here. So we're getting finally a reaction. Basically, I said last week, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for signs of reversal. But on these downtrends, I really don't think we're gonna just V-shape reverse, right? Like, I think we're probably gonna consolidate here, like, do something like that before we actually, like, get going on anything meaningful. So I wonder if I don't know, pump a little bit in December, at the start, and then just consolidate back down in this green box here, and then early next year start to pump. I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. Dom, what's your outlook right now? What are you thinking, bro?
I got some takes, man. I'll flip my screen on here. I'll say this. I'm not convinced that the bottom's in for Bitcoin. I think you guys have seen
Oh
this.
my
This is a,
gosh, this guy. Continue.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, dude. But this is obviously the zone we've been looking at, for a while here on the channel. We are getting a bounce, but I want to direct your attention to two things, and I'll actually take us to the ETF of Bitcoin because the volume's a little more tangible there. So I'll switch over to that. But so same zone, just on the ETF. Again, this is volume that's inflows from there rather than the volume that's sometimes a little more inaccurate on the other ones. But when you look at this, what do you guys notice? And I'm not going to make you guess, but if you look over here at the following months and weeks, right, and you look at the volume bars, we've been pretty steady right around here, right? That's the highest we've gone. Interestingly enough, we saw the highest spike in volume just the other day right here, as you can see highlighted. Okay, so big spike in volume. That means there's a lot of people attempting to buy and sell Bitcoin. Okay. And of course, it came right in an interesting demand zone. We see that smart money, strong hands stepped in here. And, so again, we were interested in this zone when Bitcoin came down. Bitcoin came down, we get a big volume, but I'm not very impressed by the reaction. And again, I'm going to switch back to the other chart now. I just was using this one for the volume, but I'm going to switch back to the other chart because we want to do the weekend trading as well. Or involve all the candles we saw over the weekend. It's a little more liquid. At least it looks better on the chart. But I'm not really convinced by this bounce. Yes, we got the spike in volume, but the follow through is a little bit lackluster. And so when you're looking at a spike in volume, you want to look for, two things, right? So high volume shows that there's clearly demand there. And again, you can see it without the volume just by looking at the charts. If you toggle that off and just look at the chart, you can see where the volume kind of comes in. But this makes it a little easier. So high volume comes in, but again, there's no real change of structure. Nothing's happened, right? So you have to have an effect. So what's the effect of this? Well, right now there's no effect. And so until we see an effect of this volume coming in, I'm still going to have to, stick to my guns here and say, well, nothing's really changed. Now, again, there's no real structure on the way down to break to show us that we've actually flipped and bulls are in control now. But I would say the first area I'd look is probably up here. If we can, keep some sort of sustained volume and push above this zone right here, I would say, okay, something's changed. This is a true change of character in the downtrend. And now I'm going to start looking for us to build some price action and maybe start looking for buys. Until I see that, I'm not super optimistic. But again, we're in that zone where I'm going to start looking for it. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. If I look at the weekly time frame, again, that's just brutal price action. My thesis here is we might actually be in a bit of a sped up bear market, if you will, where we see
Agreed.
ETF outflows, 10-10, people kind of bodies floating to the surface. Have we seen people that are liquidating their balance sheet to make up for bad trades and liquidations? And so what I think might happen here is as we kind of see that settle down, and again, this is a thesis that's been going around quite a bit, we might kind of just speed run this bear market. And I think maybe we trade a little lower down here and then just resume up. And again, that of course invalidates the 4-year cycle. And there's a few reasons I like this zone down here. And again, I'm not saying we're going to get there until I watch what reaction we have here. But again, it coincides with previous all-time highs, which we've seen in the past to be a pretty good spot to start bidding, right? So you can see previous all-time highs, pretty good bid zone, of course, lines up with the 4-year cycle and stock to flow, if you really want to get that technical. And so it's typically, and again, this is the same area I'm looking at. So previous all-time high and paired with clear demand coming in. You can see all these wicks, right? There was a lot of attempts at selling here, and buyers were truly in control. So if buyers are in control from here to here, right? I'm pretty interested in this zone if this one doesn't hold. So looking down here, I think we kind of speed run the bear market. Maybe we continue down and then resume up. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, where my head's at to put things into simple terms. I could obviously go a lot more detail, but no need here. So in the meantime, watching to see if we get any meaningful reaction from the zone. If we do, I'll start looking for developing price action. Otherwise, I'm not convinced until I see at least this break. So Chill, I will flip it back to you.
Yeah. So you said what changed, right? Like, so we know that there was a big seller after 10:10. And usually as soon like going into the New York Open, like 9 a.m. EST, literally we're seeing selling, nothing but selling on the US session. But today there was no selling. So I'm wondering finally if this big seller that has caught, in my opinion, that's been driving this price down has actually stopped. So I'm going to be monitoring that over the next couple of days to see you know what's up with the seller. But if we have if we've kind of solved the selling, because really this is like just huge amounts of sell pressure, inorganic in my opinion.
Very.
Right. So if we know that the person kind of driving this sell pressure is no longer selling, it gives me at least the idea of, hey, even if we don't rally, Crypto Kuba, even if we don't rally, maybe we at least consolidate here and form a nice bottom. Because if you look on this chart real quick, and you were to just look at what we did before in this zone, this is a really good bottom area, right? Because we had this range for a while, we broke below it, formed a bottom, and then we ran. Now the selling was a little less aggressive than what it was, but the same story though. We had this kind of range here, and let's just call it, I don't know, just rough range here, and we broke below, kind of hopefully forming a bottom here to come back out of it, right? Like that's if we're going to keep things simple, that's what I'm hoping we do. I mean, we haven't really been able to see any sorts of bounces recently, so I'm going to pay attention to anyone that we have, and it just so happens that this is a pretty key level. So I'm going to still be watching. I still think that we go for the 4-year cycle thesis being invalidated, and I think when we get that, that's when we go full euphoria. That's when people actually lose their minds, because what anchors their decisions to buy and sell has now been completely invalidated. So love this bounce so far.
I'll also add a testament to what you were saying here, and I'll bring back up my chart. You can see the Bitcoin dominance scale. And interestingly enough, we've seen, Chill just said, a lot of forced selling, inorganic selling that he perceived it to be. And we can see that represented in altcoins and the Bitcoin dominance chart. We see Bitcoin down 4 or 5% in a day, and altcoins are actually outperforming in a lot of cases, many such cases this week, that down count. I don't know if you guys have been here that long, but if you think back into previous cycles, a 5% down day in Bitcoin would mean 8, 9, 12, 15% down days across the board in all your large caps, all your mid caps, all your small caps. We're not seeing that. So again, it leads me to believe someone has to liquidate their specific Bitcoin position, and that's why nothing else on chain is getting affected. And that's kind of the insights that I'm getting from that. But just to add some more context to what Chill had to say, I do agree with that.
Remember to check your charts denominated in SOL too, because some charts look down, in dollar values, but that's because SOL has declined so much. And remember, half the liquidity pool is SOL versus the reference token. So
yeah, great point.
Yeah, good point. Speaking of SOL, some quick news on our dearly beloved Solana. Look, on chain, great tweet here about some selling. It appears Pump Fund has cashed out at least $436 million since October 15th. Since October 15th, Pump Fund has deposited 436 into Kraken. During the same period, over 500 mil in USDC flowed from Kraken to Circle. Between May 19th, 2024 to August 12th, Pump Fund has sold a total of nearly 800 million in SOL at an average price of 181.
Oh my gosh. Dude, look, how hard is it for them to throw a couple million MCGs? Just let us hold a couple mil, right? You guys got
like,
seven, you know,
look,
you got $1 billion, you got a lot of it.
Come on, throw us a bag.
Just throw us a couple mil, let us hold a mil. Simple as.
Simple ask. So
man, is the pump was them selling pump on centralized exchanges an invalidated rumor?
I don't think they're selling pump.
It's that so was hard to confirm, right?
Yeah,
they were buying it on chain and then selling it on exchanges. I don't know that's what I heard on the timeline, but it seems like that's a rumor.
I don't think so.
It's definitely not confirmed. If it was confirmed, we would see just a cascade event in pump. For those that don't know, the context is this has just been a rumor going around these last couple of days that Pump Fund is, they're doing $1 million in buybacks. I think they did 850K the other day. It's declining a bit. But then they're saying, well, they're buying back 850K in pump, and then they're going to the exchanges or going to OTC and selling that exact buyback amount to another buyer. So it's actually a null effect. And then people, of course, go into question about the Pump Fund founder and the team and how extractive they are. And like that whole conversation gets swirling, but I don't think there's any confirmation to that. Although clearly they do, they are taking full advantage of that cash out button here in Kraken.
Yeah. They're rolling. They're rolling right now. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to keep watching this area. Between 85 and 77 to 85. Like this looks like a nice, again, deep demand zone. And we saw a really good reaction on a high time frame. So I'm going to keep watching that. And we pointed out last week, everything was pretty much in a demand zone. ETH was a little bit above it. It finally went inside. Solana actually looking pretty nice off this bounce as well. It held a very key zone. Again, another just deep demand zone. Our dearly beloved pump. Holy crap. Still figuring things out. Met is looking like it's kind of trying to form some sort of bottom here, but not much TA to go off of. So I want to keep watching this to see how price develops over the next coming days.
See,
but
for context, that puts Met at 143 million market cap, 300 FTV.
And we covered last week, Soju said, look, we're gonna all of our revenue is going to be directed to support the project in some way, right? He said this. All dollars of revenue will be used to reinvest into the protocol or run the protocol or returned to token holders. So obviously, I definitely won't ignore Met here. If I'm thinking of taking a stab at a position, it's more like a DCA, knowing that some of these levels might not hold. But yeah, and lastly, y'all have seen me on the timeline, bro, with Fartcoin.
Stinking it up.
Hot air will rise again. I'm telling you guys, holding monthly support really well, deep in a demand zone. And we're about to break out of a level here that we haven't really been able to break out of since July. This kind of downtrend has been respected since July. And I mean, it looks, you can kind of see it better here on the weekly. You can see it better here on the weekly chart. This downtrend has been respected all the way down. But we're holding this key support. We're looking at breaking out of that. So I'll be keeping an eye on Fartcoin. I don't care what you got to say. Oh my God, chill. It's a meme coin. Why are you trading memes? Oh my goodness. I thought you were like all ICM and utility and OMG. Like this has no value. The chart looks good. Okay. I just buy good coins. I buy good coins, good charts.
It's crazy. I was actually researching Fartcoin the other day, and I managed to get over to the Wikipedia. And you know how the keywords in Wikipedia you can click on, and I saw this keyword called marrying my bags, and I clicked on marrying my bags, and it was just chill doing chart work on Fartcoin. I promise, guys. It was like an incredible display there. But go and look, you can find that for yourselves.
That's crazy.
Go to Urban Dictionary, marry my bags. It's chill with
Yeah.
his charts open.
Straight chart and Fartcoin.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a
No,
Fartcoin
watch.
hater, bro.
We're
I'm not.
kidding.
I'm
We're
just a
kidding.
meme coin hater.
Really? No, like I think everything has its place. That's my
Yeah,
philosophy.
for sure.
Everything has its place. Like I'm not gonna like throw my entire bag
Yeah.
at a meme, at Fartcoin, or at any
Look,
other.
dude, I open up my pretty serious, like, real banking app, and I go to the crypto page, and Fartcoin's there, right? So it's, you can't hate on it
I'm
'cause
just
it's
saying.
Counted.
it's gotten
just-
there. It's gotten there,
It is up 20% on the day. That's, I mean,
I'm just saying,
again,
bro,
the risk on barometer is kind of starting to.
it's the only one that's made it out of the echo bubble for real.
Yeah.
Like we got finance bros talking about it on finance news outlets. We saw it on SNL. We see it, like it's made it out of the CT echo chamber and into reality. So when this thing actually starts trading higher, when it's like, everyone's kind of grave dancing on it now, but when this thing actually starts trading higher, what happens, when news outlets pick that up again and say, oh, well, Fartcoin's up over $1 billion again, like.
I think this is a good transition topic. I want to kind of lean on for the next 10 minutes when we transition to Santify. I think we have Santa first and then THRT after. Yeah. Which, by the way, banger stream, guys. Two great projects coming on. Santify obviously doing the neobank thing. We'll be happy to interview them. It'll be lots of fun. Their charts looking nice. Then THRT's been holding up really well. He got a $2.7 million offer the other day, according to the founder, to buy out the token and all the code associated with it. So he declined, and I'm definitely going to be excited to talk about that with him later. But that being said, let's transition. And I feel like this bear market, although it has been brutal, although it might not be the end, I think has left us with a bag where we've separated the wheat from the chaff. I think when we do finally get into a season where on-chain picks back up again, we're going to be left with a whole different environment than we were introduced to a couple of years ago, where it was pump fun, where meme coins had a big craze, where utility coins had no real underlying utility. And we're seeing this in a lot of ways, right? We're seeing MetaDAO and Avicii extremely outperform. Like, that's a very clear signal of what the market wants. We're seeing equity anchored tokens and debt equity structured tokens popping up. And so I'm really excited for the chance. So when we do come back, right, when Bitcoin actually does pick up and macro kind of picks up and sentiment shifts a little bit, I think we're going to have a much different on-chain environment than we did, 100%. I think maybe ever in our entire careers. And I think the best thing you can do now is just monitor the situation and be there when that happens. And I'll transition on that note to this tweet from Mercy. Okay, guys, I got some alpha for you. And let me zoom that in so you can see it, because right now it looks like a
Mercy loves you for keeping track on him.
Yeah, well, he's not going to love me in a second here. Mercy says GICM working on Redacted NYC, and the tag Soju, Vesper, the Meteora team, all these guys. What is Redacted? Well, guys, we know he was hinting at the equity, the equity structure, the debt, that they were talking about, not that equity, excuse me. ICM's coming out with 3 different native protocols that they're going to be releasing soon. Well, guys, luckily for me, I am tracking Mercy on Twitter, and he did put out a tweet before this that has since been deleted, which I will reference here. I'm not sure if I can get the picture up, Josh. Maybe you can.
I can Telegram. If you send it in TG.
It's in TG. I can tag you.
Here, I'll go grab it.
So here's the tweet before it was deleted, and of course, grabbed a screenshot.
Maybe do we just want to read it? Why don't we just read it?
I'll just read it.
Yeah.
But here's what the previous tweet said. It said GICM. Tokenized equity is far closer to reality than most people on CT think. And then he tagged the same people there. Okay. It was reposted by ICM.run and then later deleted. So they're working on Redacted here. If I had to really stretch my brain, I'm thinking the Redacted is tokenized equity being very close for the ICM.run ecosystem. What does that mean? It's us, it's up to us to decide. We know staking is coming soon. We know that they want to do $1 million a month in staking payouts to their stakers. Keep eyes there. Also brings me to my next subject, and again reiterates that I think we're going to be in a way different on-chain environment here when we kind of get this next round. I don't think I think once I see memes start coming back, sorry, chill. Once I see memes start coming back is when I start selling, to be completely honest. I think people have really seen what value is held in crypto. They've seen that all these utility tokens are at zero. They see lots of these meme coins. All of these meme coins are at zero. And so what's going on is the only ones that are holding right now are projects with true value. That's why we see the revenue meta is getting very hot. The signs are there. So this was a very obvious sign to me, as well as a really cool post by Street FDN, who's also doing an equity anchorage standard, if you'll call it that, ERCS, right? The new standard they developed. And this was a tweet they put out the other day, again, further confirming this bias and thesis we have on the show. I'm not sure if someone was gonna chill. Did I just hear you do one of those?
No, you're good.
No.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
You know, I never know with chill. We just got to go off these like this breath, his air cues.
Little whispers, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see him opening his mouth to speak or anything.
It's when I hear this.
Speak
When I
like
hear
this.
Oh, chill's coming. Chill's coming. No, but on that note, the equity note here, we got a tweet from Street, which I thought was really cool, and they said, happy to have teamed up with Noise.so, which is, I believe, a fund firm, VC, something. I probably should have looked into this a little bit more, but they've teamed up, and I got context clues here, guys. Happy to have teamed up with Noise.so to give their portfolio companies a way to easily apply for ERCS. I think this is going to be a huge movement going forward, where these on-chain companies reach out to VCs, funds, firms, whoever that have a holdco or holdings company or holdings under them necessarily that they're invested in. They're on cap tables, whatever, private equity. And they go say, hey, I want deal flow to all of these companies and give them an opportunity to make their make a liquid tradable equity, private equity token. And so this is a pretty cool step in that direction, with Street teaming up with Noise.so to give their portfolio companies a way to easily apply to ERCS. So I'm not sure what we see come out of that, but definitely pretty cool. The mission for Street is to make sure high quality launches inside crypto also have high quality investable tokens. While we're a launchpad agnostic, it's always nice to work together with talented teams and the founders behind them. The Noise and Base teams are as high quality as it gets. In case an ERCS token on Noise is launched, it'll always be paired against a stable asset like USDC, which I am really interested in monitoring, because some of these assets probably should not be pegged to Solana. Though I've heard the argument, if you peg it to USDC, someone's just going to make a Solana pool, and it's automatically going to get ARB down to whatever that price is. So I don't know. But in times like this, when the market's nuking, and Sol is up 4% today, so it works in both directions. But in times where the market's nuking, you don't want your private company tethered to Solana. Maybe it gives you a great investable opportunity, though. I will say that. Because if Solana nukes 20, 30, 40%, and the company is still chugging away and making more money and doing great, you might have it.
Yeah, go look at the Avicii chart. It is denominated in USDC, at least the pool I'm tracking, and it looks quite stable.
Yes, let me pull that up 1 second. Bada bada bing, bada boom. And if you guys get it before me too, feel free to rip it. I mean, it's just Avicii looks good all around. And this is another conversation. I just put out a tweet that I want to talk about at some point.
And I also in private have a tweet we should reference as well.
Okay, sweet. Well, I got this chart pulled up. You can pull up. Oh, I don't. Idiot.
I got the Avicii chart. If
there you go.
New all-time highs.
Yeah, USD.
Dude, tethered. looking fantastic. I remember like going back to Noise. Saying that is funny. Game is bullish on Noise. So I saw it, but it's basically ICM infra on base, but I don't know the specifics. So I gotta look into that a little bit more. But I know, a lot of people were saying at one point that it was like really undervalued, but momentum is picking up here, I guess, with ERCS. But yes, Avicii looking phenomenal. Hitting new all-time highs. I'm wondering how much I mean, this has just been
85
like
million market
only,
cap.
dude.
Or
This
81
has
mil
been
now.
up only, dude. Have you
What
heard
a trade?
Dude, have you where else can you find like a better trade? Okay, speaking of that, let me speaking of Avicii, I wanted to share with you guys two tweets. Kind of going back to what Dom was saying earlier, but two real quick things. Number one, again, you guys gonna show you guys a post that I'm writing up. Haven't finished it. Don't know if I'm going to post it. But basically, this post is talking about how bear markets force crypto to mature and become more efficient. And essentially, we've been in, I would like to consider on chain like a kind of a bear market. There's been like these little pockets of outperformance. There's been some assets that have gone crazy, like an Avicii, like some choice memes. But rotations have been quick. Hold times have been pretty low. And so that's because the quality of projects needs to rise, because sophisticated buyers are the only ones that are left right now. They'll buy stuff like Avicii. Absolutely. Revolutionary tech, 100% awesome. But that's
100%
why
awesome, baby.
100% awesome. But that's why like ICM is here. And I feel like ICM builders, those building new token standards like an ERCS, those things will become more and more meaningful. And going back to what Dom said, will reshape the way that we trade on chain, because it'll be more fundamentals, more driven by fundamentals than by hype. But I haven't completed this tweet yet. I haven't completed this thought, but I reference it because I think we've been in a bear market on chain for the most part, and that's forced teams to build better things. And so when markets actually flip, I think you're going to see some, very euphoric rallies on stuff like an Avicii. And going to this tweet here from the homie Contra, metacoins, are up. OMFG up 21%, Umbra up 21%, Avicii new all-time highs, right? Solo, it's actually holding pretty well over the last few days. So, markets are kind of showing you where the attention is going. We're also seeing like other neobank projects, popping up elsewhere. So a lot to pay attention to here, despite like the overall price action. But again, bear market on bear market on chain tends to show you where the liquidity and attention is naturally going to.
You know what we need to do from the MCG account, because he just had Contra pull up and it brought it to mind. We need to make a tweet from the MCG account where it's just like high alpha signal traders they should follow. Of course, this is not us like endorsing anything that they chill or whatever, but lots of people just miss the mark on who they're following. And I feel like we really have honed in on like the best of the best just from being in the industry so long. We should really publish a list. Maybe I'll write that down and do. Would that be something you guys want?
Yeah. I'll put a few names. I'll put a few names down as well. I mean, I have about
Great
like
idea.
100. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Good. We should do that for like a follow Friday or something. I don't know.
Follow Friday. I like it. Or we could highlight our favorite tweet that someone put out over the week that we think people should read. Follow Friday. Yeah, I like it. We'll brainstorm that a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that though. That's a great idea.
We have Santa in the chat. Can we just pull up the Santa chart real quick?
Yeah,
and
looking good last I checked, by the way. Also, Pepper says LFG got into the beta play for Avicii. Santa could be considered a beta play for Avicii. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to let them either knock that theory down or bring it up. But we see, I think right now people are calling Karma and Santa kind of betas for Avicii. And we see obviously Santa's doing fantastic. Look at that chart.
I mentioned this the last time. I think that it's more, while people are treating it that way, I think it's more than just beta. But I think that's why it's going to be,
it's an easy narrative to run with, right?
Yeah, 100%. But that's why I'm excited about this conversation. Maybe we can get them up. But I'm excited to kind of see what they're doing, how they're differentiating themselves, and excited to see what they're working on. Welcome to the Santa team. How are you guys doing?
GM, doing good. Thanks for having us, everyone.
Awesome, man. Glad to get you guys. This is for a while we wanted to get you guys on the show, so I'm really glad we got you today, because we've been observing. You've been I would say like an OG, one of the more OG ICM projects that came out of Believe. I think, have you guys since migrated off Believe?
Yes. So
Recently, right?
we actually just like I think 48 hours ago. We're like 100% independent of any launchpad. We're just like collaborating with Meteora, of course. And we've sort of like the first class of the V1 that is actually basically launching use beliefs 6 months ago, TG 6 months ago. And we've been really focusing in building and shipping.
Love it. Love it. Do we have June with us or?
Yes,
Yes,
I think
yes.
June is
Hello,
it.
GM, everyone.
GM, how are you guys feeling? How's it been? You guys, the chart's looking nice. It seems like people are starting to pick up a bit on Santa, what you guys are building.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm feeling good, but yeah, just steady building. A lot of tasks in the backlog right now. Need to deliver a lot of features in the coming weeks.
Sweet, dude. I love it. Let's dive into it. Give the people what they want. Get a better idea of what you guys are building. Let's start with whoever. Maybe Joom, I guess, since you were just talking. We'll start with Joom. Background on you, and then how do you pronounce it? Gulanio
Jume.
or
My name is Jume. Yeah.
Jumi, and then Gulanio.
Giuliano.
Giuliano,
Ju-
but like everybody calls me G.
G. Okay, there we go. My G. Love it. All right. Can we get some backgrounds? Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah,
Ju.
okay. Let me start. Yeah, thank you, Dom. I'm Jume. Um, I started my journey in crypto 2017. I joined a few ICO, technically multiple failed ICO back then. 2017, failed to getting rich. 2018, just doubled down on building or become a product manager professionally. Build an exchange, a local exchange, and then build wallets for like a few years there until working on stablecoin company. It's called TradeX. That's basically stablecoin issuance company based in Singapore. They issue XSGD, XUSD, and also XADR back then. And let my last working experience working at Kyber Swap. I believe they are number one DEX aggregator right now in EVM, at least. Working there as product manager. But the past 2 years, I focused and doubled down on Solana. Initially as a trader or degen, when the meme coin hype, when the meme coin pump fund and so on. But it's turned out my passion is still building a product, especially on-chain product. So I built a lot of multiple experimentation, especially the past 1.5 years. Until this year, yeah, we built Sana or Sanafi on chains, or we call it Sana now. Yeah, especially the past 6 or 7 months, I'm full time building Sana right now.
And so, G, before we get into, I kind of want to touch up on that too, Jumi. So you worked with stable coins, you worked with exchanges. It seems like everything you did leading up to this point has perfectly maybe positioned you for Santa and what you're building now. Can you just give us a little insight on how that experience is helping you build what you're building today with Santa?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think when you build a product, right, you got a lot of maybe a success point, but also so many failed story, right? So I think it's reshaping my point of view and perspective regarding how building crypto product, especially yeah, stablecoin related or on-chain product. I might know there's some angle that we want to tackle. It could be the problem, but at the same time, the opportunity as well that we want to uh, explore, especially for Sana, and especially building in public need what you say, right? Extra effort, but also extra attention, because people are looking for your what you deliver and what's how you communicate your product. At the same time, you need to deliver real product to make people confident on you, right? So I think building crypto already reshaped my skill, my point of view, and now building Sana I think it's totally based on experience, but also on the right time for Sana as a neobank and also stablecoin chain in the market.
Lovely. G, you can take it away now.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks for having us one more time. I think it's been a pleasure looking at like you guys, MCG, bringing like a lot of like this internet capital markets founders and just like telling their story from your platform, right? Like so, my name is G. My last 9 to 5 job is the head of Asia at Coinbase. So I got very lucky to be able to experience the 0 to 1 building layer 2 of base with Jesse Pollack. So I'm the only non-US team expanding their ecosystem and like building everything until I exit the company when base is close to like $2 billion TVL. And since then, I actually open up my own family office where I do my own liquid funds, where the 95% of the portion is basically focusing in pushing Solana ecosystem. And that's where I sort of like met Jume as well and like pushing together a lot of stuff, co-create a lot of stuff as well until it leads to, hey, I think just doing very successful in multiplying your money, it's one thing on Solana, but another thing when you are becoming a founder and building a net positive for the ecosystem. So before building Sana, we actually help a lot of founders as well to get on board within the Solana ecosystem as well, especially in Asia. Um, but the most interesting story is my journey with crypto. It started at 2016. I purchased my first Bitcoin in 2016, and since then it's more into like a bit here and there angel investing. You make money, you lose money, and you learn a lot since then. So you've been able to see a lot of stuff, a lot of moving pieces, and all this journey is leading to Sana. And I think the most interesting part is not only about myself and Jume. I think a lot of stuff about why Sana and why we built Sana, right? I think after this you may be able to tell a bit more, but I think there's a lot of stuff about um, I've been traveling across countries a lot. And I spent my past 2 years living in South Korea without an access to a bank because it's just very hard for a foreigner to have a bank. And I think there is a time where I thought that, oh, it might be nice for you to just like have one tool, one card, one app to just like be able to spend a lot of your crypto without an intermediaries like a bank and how we want to enable that. And I think I share this pain point to Jume, and the rest is history. And yeah, that's something about me. But I think Jume, if you can tell us more as well about like why we built Sana in the first place, I think would be very interesting for the audience.
And real quick, just a personal question here. Your background at Coinbase, obviously very impressive. Interestingly, though, you left and went to focus more on the Solana chain. Is there any reason you are preferring Solana over Base?
So I think when I made my transition from Base to Solana, I think I told this story quite a few times with people like Kash, Super Team. I met Tolly once, and I told him as well. So the truth is, while I'm building for Base, I'm also looking at a lot of like ecosystem across EVM that is very interesting for me to play around. And long story short, while I'm building Base, I found Solana, and I think I made a big bet across my family office fund within Solana at $20. So I think yes, I'm building on Base, but I think Solana is almost make me a semi-retired. Then I kind of like double click on that, like how I can give back as well within the ecosystem within Solana. And then I think when I double click, I go into Breakpoint, I met the super team. I think the ecosystem within is pretty much fun. And I think I just like oh, maybe this is interesting for me to just like really build inside and see what's going on. And I think that's really like the key back then when I so a lot of people in Solana kind of like knows me as like, oh, somebody who's very active at base and like suddenly built on Solana just
Yeah.
because like he be able to make his money off Solana.
It makes sense. I remember my first time trying out Solana from EVM. I was a big Ethereum bull, and I know Chill was too, and we did a lot of our trading there. That's really where I would say, got our start. And then the first time I came over to Solana, when obviously Ethereum was kind of lagging, I was shocked by how fast it was, how easy it was. And it's one of those things, like, I just don't know if I could go back now, truthfully. And I think like a big advice I would give to any investors is like try the protocols and platforms that you're investing in, because that's a very telltale way to know, if you're ahead of the curve or something is powerful. I mean, I would probably say the same for Santa app. But let's get into that a little bit more. I think you said Jimmy was going to take it away. Maybe give us the vision behind Santa app, what you guys are creating, and why you guys think you are the go-to neobank that everyone should be using.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the maybe original background is based on a local problem. Yeah, I think right now, if you know the bank, especially in developing country, right, majority of the bank has has access, right, to the customer fund. So when there is a problem with that, in the most cases, uh, the customers sometimes they struggle, right, to make sure the fund is secure, right. That's one thing. Another thing is because of the government in developing country, they have like regulation. If the account is dormant for certain period, they can categorize this account as the frozen bank account, right? And anytime this government they can seize the money from the customer, right? So that's one of the original story. We see that everyone is deserve a borderless money and also a self custody, which is the first principle of the blockchain, the ownership. We want to make it available for everyone, especially our friends, our neighborhoods, our friends in our country, or even everyone that's want to have access to blockchain but experience the same like banking, the normal banking that they have, right? So that's the original vision. So you want to people to have self custody. We want people to have a borderless money, regardless their location. They can do business, they can do payment, and we wanted to more people to onboard to Solana and also DeFi via one single user experience, and they can get opportunity like maybe DeFi, yield, and so on later on, right? But the first goal is, of course, onboard everyone to experience DeFi, but at the same time, get the benefit and value in terms of self custody and borderless money.
I do have a question on this for our non-Asia based listeners that
Yeah.
are based in the US. Like for us, when Tether was first getting a lot of traction in like 2016, 2017, people were like, oh, that's just crypto exchange adoption. Like it's just used for speculation. There's no real adoption there. But other funds like QCP Capital said, no. In Asia, actually, Tether and stablecoins are a legitimate way to get dollar exposure on your phone. Can you maybe just level set, like, what does crypto adoption look like in Asia around, even Santa as well?
Yeah, I think in my point of view right now, uh, the adoption is pretty much good, especially in the grassroots, right? The stablecoin use case is mostly, I think, being used right now for some of peer-to-peer transaction, right? But the problem is the government does not accept stablecoin or even crypto as form of payment, so they only allow it to do it for like maybe like cross-border transaction or even a peer-to-peer transaction, right? Without involving fiat. So if involving fiat directly, you might need a license or regulation, right? But in the grassroots, I saw a lot of adoption happening right now, especially the stablecoin use case. Could be like for business, cross border payment, or even the peer-to-peer transaction. One simple use case is in grassroots people just buy USDT for trading on big exchange because that's not available locally or in majority Asia country. I think they use peer-to-peer USDT transfer to convert or to on-ramp to USDT or USDC and do
Yeah,
trading on top exchange.
yeah. Just to build on that, I think there's a lot of things that people, especially in the US, they're sort of like not getting it about how strong is US dollar in the terms of like the eye of the Asian countries, Asian retail. And I think getting a stable coin is one of the way for people to get a very strong exposure very easily to US dollar and beat off an inflation. That's one particular bucket. The second bucket, it's of course when you are doing it as a non-institution, meaning you and I like trying to send invoices, send dollar denominated, it's easier in stable coin. And I think that's why at the very beginning, USDT it's sort of like taking a hit in some of like the Asia countries, and even if you zooming in to a continent like Africa, I think USDT is like a very big form of payment there. I think to Jume's point, in most of this, I think it's almost every Asia countries is not categorized as a regulated form of payment, but you cannot stop peer to peer. And that's also what bring us to our point why on-chain money app or a neobank is kind of like a very interesting for us. And I think I've been in crypto from 2016, and I think until now there is a lot of like room for growth for whether it's like mobile wallet, whether it's like neobank on crypto, whether it's just like a better form or a better front end for people to use it. And I think the total addressable market generally for this particular play, it's very huge. So getting a lot more competition, a lot of new brands to play along in this space is just very important. And
Gee,
and I think, yep.
and when you say the
Go ahead.
TAM is huge, um, is there any limit to it? Like, would you envision a world where everyone kind of denominates in the dollar at some point via stable coins? Like, how
I
huge is this vision?
correct. I think if you're looking at I think we have a number, Jume. I forgot the number. Is like, is it 1 trillion TAM or something like that? I have it for. Do you remember the number?
Yeah, I think on the bullish case, we are talking like 4 trillion US
Four
dollar
trillion, $4 trillion
opportunity
US dollar
in
TAM.
2030, right? It's on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bullish case, but I think on the best case, maybe half, like 2
yeah.
trillion or 1.9
Okay. Okay.
on the
So
best
I
case.
think it's not about whether the market it's big enough or not. Like two until $4 trillion is like very big, but I think the speed to get there is very important. I think we've seen the growth year over year. I think is very big for people to keep using it.
Yeah, this on-chain, firstly, stable coins and neobanks, I think have been the most excited I've been about an emerging meta probably in recent times. It's just super interesting, and I think as an American, I've been a little bit ignorant and naive to the fact that there's so many people, and especially we have partners with Viva who are Bolivian based, and I think it really resonated with me. It opened my eyes. Like, everyone really wants to get their hands on the United States dollar, and they're willing to go to stable coins or different forms to do that. And like, it just kind of opened my mind to the massive potential of this stablecoin market, and that people literally cannot bank in certain countries and do not have access to
Correct.
certain things. And this like opens that opportunity. It's really just mind blowing.
Yeah, I think also like the reason what we are building is so undervalued and it's so very important is because when you have an application like Sana, if you have an email because we are using Privy, you have a mobile phone, you have an access to internet and some Solana, you basically have an access to a bank, right? In initially, and I think that's the original spirit of crypto, right? Like a self custody and just like doing your own thing, be your own bank. That's the original vision of like electronic cash, right? Like basically, and I think what we are trying to build here is like giving people an equal access as long as have the email, mobile internet, a phone, and some Solana, they can just like do things. And then I think to your point as well, what we sometimes overlook is like Sana has been building for the past 6 months until TGE. And I think we are trying to come out live from a very simple basic version of like a dashboard, a neobank into like right now an app. There's gonna be a card, there is a stable coin chain within, and I think into like a very um, maximum potential that we have. We also have our own stable coin, right? Like, so I think there's a lot of roadmap within, and there's a lot of use cases, and that's what makes us very excited every morning, waking up the past 6 months, self bootstrap this to just like build it. And I think the most important part is if you're looking at what we are building as an on-chain money app the past 6 months, this kind of things, if you're looking at into like a web 2 point of view, um, people could just like, oh, maybe they have an idea, they're trying to raise for 6 to 12 months, angel pre-seed, they build their first MVP after like 6 to 12 months. But I think what we are trying to showcase here is like, hey, everybody, if you really have a serious problem to solve and like really genuinely wants to like build a positive net EV for the ecosystem, you can just like build things, raise money egalitarian way. And I think we are lucky enough the past 6 months we have a narrative that we call internet capital markets on Solana. So yeah, we're just trying to prove and show people we can do it.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask about, I mean, we're talking about the TAM and just how massive just a neobank in general is. Can you speak to just kind of what makes you guys different? We see a lot of neobanks kind of come into market. There's more than likely room for multiple players, right? But what features, what about you guys and what you offer stands out from the rest?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I will add some on to that question. I think, yeah, for now, Sana positioning as neobank 2.0, right? Especially Sana app. Our initial goal right now is to onboard everyone. So it's mean that which value proposition that best for anyone is we try to mimic what's the banking value has. First, one example is we want to provide private and privacy option, which is in blockchain. It's a bit contrarian compared to banking. Your privacy is transparent, right? Everyone can know your balance, can track your balance, right? So on that part, we want to provide a private mode. So when you do a payment, you do transaction, the receiver or the merchant don't know it's how big or how much is your balance, right? So that's one thing. Other than that, we try to provide like maybe like end-to-end solution, because end-to-end solution in terms of yeah, most of your bank initially try just to be like a stable coin and a card, right? But on us, we think that we should educate our onboard user to crypto as well, because at the end we want them to access multiple opportunity in DeFi and crypto. So that's why by starting having a wallet, card, and later on they can seamlessly access DeFi yield or DeFi strategy and so on inside one single app. It could be yeah, easy for them to access DeFi and comfortable for them to access DeFi, right? So we try to combine that, the privacy, the user experience, and the last one, of course, the maybe a fee and also gasless experience. But in our vision, we want like to be like a super app for neobank or on-chain banking.
Nice. So
And
you're offering multiple services that can kind of bring users in, keep them there. And I saw you guys. If you guys would love to if you guys want to demo the product, definitely we're open to it. We can share your screen. So if you'd like to, just let us know.
you wanna
Yeah,
demo the feature, you mean?
yeah, I think I have a video.
Yeah. Well, while waiting on this, I think I just want to bring an importance of for non-US market, especially in Asia, when having a one-stop app is very important, and like the customer here is get used to it. So any super app is very common in Asia, and that's what we are trying to achieve here, to be a lot of different stuff within the app, and later on I think will be helping us a lot on the distribution game of this.
And when you say super app, you're basically saying an app with many different
Multiple things.
yeah.
Correct. So it's not only wallet and a card. It's the I think you may give a alpha on a house of yield. There's gonna be an AI that can do a trading for you. There's a lot of stuff within. Yeah.
Jumi, maybe walk us through what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, this is our app. Uh, Now it's still on internal testing. We have a few function there. We can play again. Yeah, we have a few function there. The few one we have like send, receive, and swap in the wallet, right? That's the few one. But the next version or the upcoming release, we will release the we call it V2 or maybe 1.2. We will have the Sana virtual card powered by Rain. So you can top up you with stablecoin, your own card, and you can have your own virtual card. Technically, on we can be on par with the rest of neobank by having a card. So user can simply top up, spend the card, but by spending the card, you will also earn rewards. This means the reward part will be powered by Sana. So it means every time you spend on Sana app, you get a reward in form of Sana. So that's in the video. Please expect soon. Once we are ready in the upcoming release, we will have a Sana card and maybe Sana AI as well and Sana reward.
Okay. And so on sure if you're still showing, but I'll take your screen off here. In the terms of cards, we see a lot of competition to make the best rewards, right, for users, and we're seeing that through a bunch of different competitors. What are you guys doing to prioritize your cards getting used and giving great rewards to users? Obviously, outside of it's the Santa token, but maybe further elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think talking about that, we will talk about the distribution game later on. A few plans that we want to reward first the existing holder to get access to Sana card, right? And later on, I think since we are targeting retail, right, or the user that's want to spend their crypto or even stablecoin on chain via the card, and the card is in the background is also self custody. You can withdraw and also top up anytime. To onboard to onboard user to use our card. Of course, we're promoting it beyond the traditional crypto channel like X or Telegram. We will double down outside that because we want more user or external user, right, to use that kind of product on Sana card. And at the same time, yeah, again, we want to have like a reward system as well. the affiliate or referral, ideally we'll power it by Sana. So every time you onboard or promoting our app or inviting user to use Sana app and Sana card, you got a reward in form of Sana. We will combine this kind of strategy with the social media affiliates and also utilizing our Sana exposure. Sana token exposure.
And it seems like this token will have some sort of value outside of just being like a governance token or something. Maybe tell us what that utility will be. I see a few bullet points here on screen.
Okay. Sana initially we design is to as a default currency or in-app currency in our products. The first product is Sana app, so there will be like the in-app currency for Sana app, where people can use it or you can redeem it or you can earn it by using Sana app. You could spend on Sana app, you get Sana token. But at the same time, if we have AI yield or certain agent that need a premium access, you need to use Sana to access that. There's also another utility currency or product currency. One of the product is Sana app. We also might explore on another product to use Sana.
Got it. Got it. So you guys have a few things going for you. I mean, honestly, love this conversation so far. One thing that we wanted to talk about as well was just in terms of, the growth that you've seen so far. We know you guys have been building for a long time. We've watched you guys since summer, actually, since early in the summertime when the show was just starting out. So amazing to see your growth. Can you speak to that a little bit? What users are you seeing? Revenue, all of that good stuff.
I think Jume can add it. I know we're short on time as well. I think what we are trying to build initially is just like we are trying to build the most organic token that we can have, and I think it's proven that there's a lot of our token holders and also our users that is part of a believer of Sana, which can hold for months and just like really enjoying what we are progressing in public. And in the terms of like models or even a revenue, I think we're gonna get a lot of revenues once the V2 is out, especially when user is basically subscribing to the card, essentially. And I think we're gonna get a lot of like revenue as well from a lot of trading activity inside the app. And I think connected this back to the rewards discussion as well. I think the easiest form of rewards that we can do for anyone, any retail, learning from the banking experience is actually a cashback, right? Like whether it's cashback is in the forms of Sana, or we also have partners with Sanctum on our LST on Sana Soul. We could also give a rewards or a cashback in terms of Sana Soul. So I think there's a lot of like multiple revenue opportunity that we can have, and a lot of multiple venue to get a new users coming in. The fact that we have the rewards, the Sana token, and a lot of stuff coming within the app.
We have a question that popped up, and actually this prompted us to tag you guys to have you on about halal investing. Can you maybe speak on how big that market is and what role that plays? And I see ethical investing, but yeah, if you want to address that.
Jume, over to you. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. What is the question?
The question was on halal investing or ethical use, just for mostly Western U.S. audience. Can you give us a little information on that?
Yeah, I mean, personally, as a builder, I have a few principles, right? So when building a product, so we try to replicate the kind of principle for few product. The goal itself is we want to serve anyone, right? So some people or some audience that's concerned about halal or ethical, they might be not want to touch crypto or don't want to touch maybe stablecoin and so on because they're concerned about it. So for us is our job or to build a product that can access or it can serve anyone, regardless the concern, regardless the religion, regardless the border, right? That's why we want to make it borderless for anyone in any country or even any belief or any religion. But for to serve that, we will practice a few principle in terms of designing the product to be more transparent, to be more ethical, to be able to serve this kind of audience that focus and concern about crypto or about stablecoin. Is it halal? Is it not ethical? Right. Again, for me as a builder, that's my job to serve anyone, regardless the belief.
Yeah, just to add on that, I think if we're talking about the market size, the neo bank that we're talking initially, it's around like $4 trillion market cap. But if you're talking about like an ethical finance market, at the number right now it's like 7 to 10 trillion, so almost double than that. And I think it will grow to like 35 to 50 trillion dollar market cap by 2030 probably. And I think the initial thought process that we have why we even touch that part is I think right now if you want to onboard a lot of like a Web 2 users to Web 3, there is a lot of like a untouched market cap within the ethical part, meaning that we are solely also while we are building a very cool product on the neobank side, we also like how we be able to tap in a spillover, even like 1% of that, for example. And I think then we sort of like put that into our product principle where, oh, what is the a lot of things that people care about within the ethical finance. We study a bit where do they get the yield and what's the principle within that, and we put that into a lot of things that we built. I think if for the US viewers, if you double click on requests for product from Brian Armstrong in the past 2 years, he ever said something about safer DeFi. And safer DeFi is sort of like almost a double click on a lot of like things that is ethical, not really halal, but like more into like an ethical yield type of thing. So a lot of those things we are trying to incorporate in how we want to like put our product principle within.
Nice. We're coming up on time here, so I want to kind of give some future-looking thoughts for what's to come, what you guys are most exciting about, and what's coming next. So maybe give us an idea of roadmap. You guys mentioned, AI agents. You guys mentioned maybe there's some sort of stablecoin chain coming. Just give us some whatever you guys feel like saying, maybe on the roadmap here.
Yeah, let me start first, and I'll let Jume to close if I miss anything. I think a lot of things that I personally excited about is the V2 when we be able to basically show people to spend and give a rewards. But I think more than that is the privacy features that we're gonna have, meaning that you be able to send a stable coin on a privacy mode on Sana. And if that's really coming live, we're going to be the first on-chain money app on Solana that enable a privacy transfer directly on the app. So that's one thing that I'm very excited about. Over to you, Jimmy.
In real brief terms, is that through like ZK proofs, ZK snarks? How does that work? If you have any idea.
Jimmy?
Yeah, we are using on third party. Yes, the use a ZK proof for that. For private transaction, even a private swap. For third party, we cannot reveal here. It's confidential, but of course, it's using ZK technology. It's on chain, 100% on chain.
Gotcha.
And what's your most exciting about? Give the audience some alpha. If you already give the alpha on the privacy with ZK.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we will have a card, right? That's pretty much obvious. But for me, one of the most exciting part for me is Sana Chain plus Sana USD. It will not come soon, but it gonna be something that will make us different compared to other neobank. We will have like end to ends. Let's say maybe like supply chain, from chain to stablecoins. So it's mean we try to really mimicking how the bank works by having our own ledger, despite we are using Solana as well. We have Sana Chain as well, which is already on testnet right now, with maybe almost 80 million transaction on testnet. And we will have Sana USD, which is make me pretty much excited because this Sana USD will be later on, maybe next year, I think, our own default stablecoin. It can be used for our growth. It could accelerate the yield as well for the users. At the same time, it could grow, our TVL, even the other opportunity for revenue stream, and so on. Right? I think that's one of maybe alpha that's we haven't really announced it, but we have worked with few partners right now for Sana USD.
And the last one, I know we need to close this out, but I think if you imagine we are building everything on this in public via internet capital markets narrative, and we've just building this the past 6 to 7 months. I know we have like a very big competition within us, around us, which is Avicii, and they've been building for quite some time, 12, I think probably like 24 months or 12 to 24 months before us, before even the TG. And I think we are trying to speed things up in whatever that we are trying to do. And hopefully, when the time comes, we be able to give a proper competition, if not yet. And let's see, I think the more the merrier. And once the user we have the distribution game on, and let's see what's gonna happen. I think it's only gonna be more exciting, and everything is just a beginning.
Competition is good, and look, you guys are in the right narrative. Look, we see Neobank Revolt boost valuation is 75 billion
crazy.
ahead of potential stablecoin launch. The money's there. You guys are doing it. So we appreciate you guys coming on. You dropped some alpha at the end there, talking about V2 private swaps, your Sana USD, your own stablecoin chain. There's a lot to wrap our heads around, but we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks you all. Appreciate it to be. Appreciate it again to have us.
All right,
Thanks,
G.
Jume.
Thanks for
Catch
coming
you
on.
guys later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
I like that conversation. That was an awesome convo.
Yeah, man. Dude, anytime we can talk about stablecoins and neobanks, it gets me going, bro. It like genuinely feels like the
Gets the
next
blood
big,
flowing,
Yeah, it sure does. It feels like the next big iteration for crypto, and I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Speaking of, I think we actually have THRT on ready to go.
Yeah, can we pull this chart real quick before we get into it?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Joe. I like fun fact about THRT. I've actually had eyes on it since like 70K market cap. Like this project I've been interested in for a while because they gave I don't know if you guys remember, there was a couple like strong communities. So there was one that was, there was PayAI but that was like sitting really low, but there was another, and I forget the name of it, but actually the dev of THRT did a security check basically on that project and gave them real-time feedback when it was at like multi-millions. I was like, wow, I didn't realize that I guess just due to his background and everything, he has a very informed opinion on these things. So I always been kind of interested ever since that. And, obviously this is playing out. Chart looks phenomenal. And it looks like, honestly, we're about to break out of this little range that we're in.
That's a good looking chart. That's
a very good looking chart. What's the market cap? 1.7 on this?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, everything checks out here. Green lights.
Yeah. Without further ado, I'll bring him up on stage, actually. So I'm just screenshotting. Okay, there we go. Hello.
Hey, sorry, I was eating. How are you guys?
All good. All good.
We stream
How
right
are
during
you, man?
lunchtime. I envy you, honestly.
Man, my wife just made me a burrito too.
Nice.
Okay. So, how you guys doing?
We're doing
Doing good. How are you? How are you? I guess maybe introduce yourself to us, to the audience. We'd love
Hi.
to get a quick rundown.
Yeah. I'm Thomas Perkins. I own the nonprofit PCEF. We launched THRT so that we could put AI training data on blockchain, basically. And yeah, that's kind of it, man. Really.
So launching AI train. I guess before we get into it, kind of walk us through the story of how this all started, right? Just how this came to be, what was the idea behind it, maybe your background, past experience that might even help you build this out as well.
So I'm a reverse engineer by trade. That's what I've done for like 14 years. So I'm also a software engineer. I wrote a program called Malcore about 6-7 years ago, and I sold it to a company called Internet 2.0. While I was working on Malcore, it was a malware analysis engine. I built the neural network that's behind Tracix, and Malcore kind of 2.0 and Malcore didn't work out. So I hadn't ever put the neural network into Malcore itself. So I just kind of kept it and put it on the low. And then when all that started, there was a lot of issues with 2.0 and me. And when all that started, I decided to make a nonprofit. And I was like, I was tired of people trying to make money off of SaaS projects. So I decided to make all mine free. And it kind of worked out really well. So here I am.
What's like, how do you, obviously a nonprofit, you can pay yourself a salary and whatnot, but why choose the route to go with a nonprofit and make it free? I think, like, maybe do you leave money on the table that way, or like tell us about the mindset behind that?
I've never really cared about money. It's never really been a driving factor for me. I kind of want to just do something that changes the world. I'm crazy enough to think I can change the world, so I want to change the world.
That's where it starts, right?
And yeah, but I can pay myself a salary and I can do stuff like that. But the token is actually owned by a third-party entity that I also own, so that it can be tradable. The problem with nonprofits is that you can't have speculative assets. You can have utility for those assets, but you can't own the asset itself. So I have a secondary company that owns the token, and the nonprofit basically controls everything else.
It makes sense. We want to jump into the project here, but maybe, I guess, briefly before we do that, it's you said I got offered around 2.7 million USD for THRT token, TradeX, and all the underlying code. I told them no, it's not about the money, it's about making a difference. How did that conversation come up? Why did you say no? Just give me the thought process there.
So yesterday I was just walking around Academy looking for something to buy, and I checked my email, and there was a email from a venture capital company, a big, well-known one. I can't say anything other than that, but they told me that they wanted to purchase the token. They had a client that had got really interested into it, and he wanted to buy the whole thing. And they gave me a price range between $2 to $2.6 million, something like that. 2.67, I think, was the max. And
the 6-7, you got us.
And so why I said no is because I've already sold a product and it didn't work. And I sold that product for a few million, and I didn't get any of the money. So I'm just not into selling products anymore. I'd rather keep it how it is and be able to run it how I want to run it, and not have to deal with investors and bosses and stuff like that.
Valid. Okay, let's jump into the product here. So I'm on the website. It says explore our free cybersecurity tooling. Do you want to maybe just walk us through a little bit of what your offerings are, what you do, why this is important?
Yeah, so the actual product is on tracix.com. The Perkins Fund website is the Perkins Fund website is the nonprofit's website. We offer free cybersecurity tools, training, YAR rules, stuff like that. Everything's free, basically. You can do whatever you want. And the product itself, you just drag and drop a file, and it analyzes it and uploads all the stuff and gives you a verdict on it through the AI. And yeah, man, you're able to also decrypt the training data that was used to make the decision for the classification. And then after you decrypt it, you have the option to upload it to the public interest so that anybody can go in and find that training data and figure out why it said what it said.
Got it. No, go ahead, Don.
How are you making this easier for people? Like, this is totally out of my ballpark or realm of expertise. If I have a file, I want to test it, make sure it's not corrupted, not going to maybe be malicious to my computer, I can just drag and drop it in here and it'll give me the full breakdown of, hey, like, you're good to go with this, or stay as far away as possible. Like,
it'll tell you either. So right now, the program can handle Windows files and Linux files, but I'm working on other types of files. But you can drag and drop whatever you want in there, and it'll tell you if it's unknown, safe, or malicious. That's it. 3 options: unknown, safe, or malicious. Malicious, obviously not good. Safe, you're probably good. It'll also tell you the capabilities of the file, what it's capable of doing, the EXIF data in the file, the metadata. You can pull it all out, and it'll give you the encrypted training data, so you can go ahead and do that.
So I guess one of the questions that I had, because your community is insane. You have a lot of supporters. Obviously, there's something that you're doing right. What's the value capture for a token holder of this? So you have this this tech that can kind of tell you whether something's malicious or secure. What's the value? How does that lead to value for token holders?
So the thing we're doing is we're putting AI training data completely within the public domain. That's never been done before. Nobody's ever done that. AI training data is a multi-billion-dollar company a year. The problem is that you're never able to peer review that data. So say you ask ChatGPT something and it's wrong. You're like, well, why did it say that? You'll never know why it said that because you can't find the data. Here, you can literally look at what it's doing. You can go in, decrypt it, and upload it to the public domain and just see all of it. So you can peer review it. You can do it yourself. It'll teach you how to do it yourself. You can do everything that nobody else will let you do. We're taking training data and just making it completely public. That's literally what we do. The utility is that you can use the token to pay for the uploads and the publishing. It pays for the pinning on IPFS, and it pays for the publishing, and most of it is burnt, and then some of it goes into the treasury for development fund.
Nice. How many what kind of user base is this looking like? How many users are you seeing use the website, use the tech, burn tokens, all that good stuff? I saw on your Twitter, and I'll scroll up to that real quick. You guys have been doing burns for like 19 days, or here it is.
41 days right now.
49. Look at that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
User base. Tracix currently, so anybody can like sign up and log in, but anybody can use it for free as well. So it's hard to put a user base on it. Mm-hmm. There's currently about 10,000 users in 2.5 months. So there's that. As for uploads to the public domain, there's I think like 60 total. I'm still working on that. I'm trying to make it more streamlined. And the burns are just cool. I like them, so I've been doing a lot.
We like them too.
What's your total burn there? I think I saw it at the bottom. Was it 5 million?
We're at 5 million. Yeah, 5.2.
Okay,
nice. We have 4 million left to do.
What do you mean left to do? It's just like it's sitting there and you guys can just burn it.
Yeah. I decided I was going to burn 10 million tokens, and I've burnt 5 million of them, so I have 4 million left to do.
Simple as. When you think about scale, it's been 2 months now. You said you've garnered 10,000 users. How do you scale? What's your mindset there? Framing. What do you plan to do to achieve a goal of 1 million users and beyond?
The next thing is the scaling process is I'm gonna put like IOC extractions, which is indicator of compromise. I'm gonna put certain enterprise level extraction tooling in it, and I'm gonna make it so you can upload multiple files at once, like so multiple sets of training data at once. Like you just go in, select what you want, then click upload, and it'll just launch it. Right now, we haven't implemented the Phantom login, but that's next on the list. We're like 4 or 5 months ahead of the roadmap at the moment, so I'm just kind of taking my time, getting everything done right.
Is it just you working on this, or you got a team with you?
It's just me.
Solo dolo.
Gotcha.
I have a board and everything, but they're busy, so it's just me working on it.
Got
I'm
it.
doing it
And
full time.
I guess my next question is just your target user base. Is this more for anybody? Is this more directed to developers or just kind of your everyday person on the web?
So I'm assuming you guys know what VirusTotal is, right?
I don't.
Okay.
So is it like yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So VirusTotal is like a antivirus platform. You upload a file and it shows you all the antiviruses and what they said, right? But it's super, super expensive and it's very limiting for free people, for free users. So trying to make it so that there's a alternative to that, but it's less limiting and it's easier to use and it's more user friendly. It's really for everybody, but it has SDK and it has API. Anybody can use it, but developers can use it, put it into their own system, stuff like that.
Interesting. Oh, so I'm sorry, you said you have an SDK or will have an SDK?
We have a small one. It just hasn't been released yet.
Okay, so when do you plan on, well, for anyone that isn't familiar with SDKs and why that's important, tell us a little bit about why having an SDK is important, and maybe perhaps when a potential release could be.
Software development kit is what SDK means. So SDK is just a way to integrate your API into workflows. That's basically it. And the reason for having one is so that anybody can take your API and integrate it into what they want to do. So it's actually really helpful. But and for the Trace SDK, it'll be released sometime this week. I'm almost done with it.
You're releasing the SDK this week?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Has this been announced, or are MCG listeners kind of getting the first
It's kind of been announced. I haven't really. It's supposed to be released for a certain person, but I'm just going to release it for everybody.
Boom.
Love that. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, look, having an SDK.
Can I ask a follow-on clarifying
Mhm.
question? So the SDK is essentially allowing the functionality that you've built to be put into other products. So, and when you mean part of the workflow, it's like, I don't know, maybe give us an example of what that other product would be, and then what part of the workflow would check against your system here.
Okay. Yeah. So for example, I made a partnership with another product who has a messaging app. What they're going to do is they're using Trace6 to determine if files transferred between people are malicious, unknown, or safe. And yeah, that's what it does. So that SDK is actually for them, the one I'm writing, but I'm just going to give it to everybody, because why not? But so the product would be to determine, it's the best example is that the messaging app transferring files. Is this malicious? Yeah. I don't want that. Is it not? Okay, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
This is something that scares me all the time. We have a lot of chats open with people that we try and trust. And even on the weekend, people trying to get in our DMs. So, okay, checking files. Now, is there any kind of tie back? Maybe, I don't want to say economics or value, but how does that relate to the other kind of people using or owning THRT or following your work? Is it just there's an exponential amount of more users? How should people think about kind of this SDK being dropped in some sort of messaging app and exponential usage, basically. I don't know if you have any thoughts there.
Well, the messaging app isn't the only thing. I just can't talk about the others yet.
Sure, you can.
But not
Absolutely,
yet.
you can.
Not yet.
Like
But we do
our rule in
have.
MCG is if you start talking about it, you got to finish.
So that messaging, there's one messaging app. Then there's another larger app that I'm getting integrated into. I'm still working on the partnership, so I can't really say anything about the partnership itself, but it is pretty big. And well, so all the data that goes through that is also available on the Traces website. So you can go straight there, put in the hash, and just find all the data. And then you can upload the training data and just or decrypt it and look at it. So the goal is to make it so that anybody can do anything. Like, so what he's looking at right now, that's all the training data. You can click on one of those, it'll download it for you, and you can just peer review everything. And the goal is to make it so that anybody can build an AI themselves. That's what I want to do. I want to make it so that anybody can go on here, get the data they need, and just start building.
Interesting.
So do you
And
think the data is
building-
your biggest moat here? Like, do you think that's the biggest value driver?
Data's gold, man.
Yeah.
It's regardless of what it is, data is the biggest driver for anything.
And this
Real quick,
training data, is this for specific to security applications?
Yes, at the moment, specifically for security applications. I'm trying to figure out a way to integrate it in a way that makes sense for other training data. But the way I built it for right now is just security. Yeah.
What would be the best place to or the best product to integrate your tech into?
Depends. What do you want to do with it?
Interesting. I mean,
question with a question. I like it.
like if I'm getting let's say through email I'm receiving files, and maybe I can integrate this into
yes.
like
the answer is yes. I can integrate it into email.
Got it. Now
I've been working on that, but it's a lot harder than it sounds because you can't just pull a file out of emails. You have to pull the file in a certain way. I'm also trying to make a browser extension so everything that's downloaded is run through it.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
Awesome.
And
that would be awesome, actually.
That's also really hard because you only have like a 150 kilobyte max, so you have to send it in chunks and then rebuild it on the other side. But yeah, I'm working on email integrations, browser extension. I kind of want to make like a desktop app where you just drag and drop on the desktop and
nice,
just as a little security thing. But
so
what about Telegram?
Basically,
Go ahead.
No, you
Go
said
ahead.
the best.
Yeah, the best way to do it would be in a messaging app like Telegram or something. And as a file comes in, you scan it, and if it's malicious, you say, "Hey, this might be malicious, so it's up to you. If you download it, that's on you, bro. Good luck. But this might be safe." It's a AI. It can't be perfect, right? So, but
And that's what I was actually going to ask was what about integration into Telegram? So you kind of answered my question there. So the way I'm thinking about this is basically like a crypto native like antivirus software essentially. Am I kind of on par with that?
Yeah, it can be. Absolutely.
Okay.
What about a one-liner? If you had to give a one-liner elevator pitch of, this is what we're building at TradeX, this is what we're building with THRT, what would that one-liner elevator pitch be or look like? Ding! Elevator doors open.
Dom's standing there.
Standing there, some elevator music's playing. What's up, man? What do you do?
I build neural networks.
And then I turn to the door and I walk out because I have no clue what that means.
Later, guys. It would be blockchain-based AI classification data. That would be the one-liner, really. because the whole goal is to make it so that anybody is capable. We're not completely finished with it. We're going to add like examples on how to build your own AI, examples how to do it this way and integrate all the data and stuff like that. But really, the goal is to make it so that AI data is accessible and free for everybody.
God,
We know
so the antivirus is just-
classification right now is like a massive massive business. We're seeing companies valued at billions of dollars, and their main objective is classifying different data points. Is your AI classifying all this stuff and breaking it up into specific categories, or is it just the 3 categories? Like, how deep does the classification go with this?
Right now, it's just the 3 categories. I can absolutely change it into whatever I want to. It's just a couple tweaks. I specifically made it just 3 categories because nobody likes cybersecurity and it's super boring. So if I just make unknown, safe, and malicious, that covers all the bases and gives you an idea of what, like, red is bad, green go, right? So I'm trying to make it as simplistic as I possibly can, because I don't want to come in and be like, hey, this is a PE file that is part of this Trojan. Like, you guys don't give a shit about that.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, this is safe. You're good to go. Here's all the data. Here's why it said that. Here's the capabilities. Here's the exit data. Do what you will.
Now, if a company comes to you with a specific classification, they're looking like, hey, we want to basically uncover what people are using to execute the scam. Can you give us all data that you've gathered that has this scam involved in it? Is that like something you guys could do?
I have a background little hustle where people are allowed to hire me as a reverse engineer. So in the background, yeah, they can hire me and I can go in and just tell them exactly what's going on. I do a lot of that. So in between coding and writing AIs, I'm a reverse engineer. So there's a complete possible way for me to integrate that into this and be like, hey, if you have further questions, contact us.
Got you. But that involves a lot of personal work. Like, you're sacrificing time to do that. Is there a way you could make an AI that will spit that out for you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I'd make it so that the AI is analyzes it first and gives you a rundown, and then have an option for like, need somebody to look at it. Do you want a person to see this, or do you want the AI? Is AI good enough? Because AI is not perfect, so a lot of people don't want just AI to look at stuff. It'd be super, super easy to do what you're asking. Yes, just integrate AI into it and be like, okay, here's what it does, here's how it does it, and here's what you should do.
Got you. Yeah, the data collection is for sure my most. I think that's what interests me the most, just because I've seen that firsthand, how big of an industry that is. And
yeah, and I would love, like, I've been in crypto for so long that the scams, it just eat me alive personally. Like, hearing people get hurt by this kind of stuff for like a decade has really sucked. And I love that what you said is that you could reverse engineer a scam and like, I don't know if you can find out who perpetrated it through that, or if you work with law enforcement to, try and find scammers, but like, good on you. You don't have to answer that
Not
question.
a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea, actually.
You
I
think
might
you
be
could?
able to do that.
Well, who's the guy on Twitter that does all that stuff? He's got an extremely Zach XBT. Yeah.
Zach.
So are you able to trace back to like that type of specific, locations, who did it?
It depends on how good they are. So most people that do scams and stuff they're pretty dumb, so they're pretty easy to find. But some of them are really good. Like, some of them are like my level good. So I'm not trying to be cocky, but some of them are like my level. And it depends on how good they are. As a reverse engineer, I've seen a lot of stuff. Like, I've seen some hardcore cybersecurity attacks. The only one I've ever not been able to find was one by some Chinese guy. I have no idea who he was. All I know is that he was in China.
Why? How did you know that?
Well, I assume he was in China because that's where it came from. That's where the attack started. But then it was all over the place. I was like, China bad. It was China.
But could you use the AI for like pattern recognition? So like, you can kind of almost see, like a certain type of scam here, and then, that, oh, this person now has created a new one and I see it over there and they're connected to that one back there. Like, Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
assuming that's what it's helpful for.
Well, at the core, AI is literally just pattern recognition. It's just math. So it's really easy to find pattern. It's really, really good at finding patterns, like ChatGPT and stuff. That's all it does, is it just finds patterns in the tokens and then says what you want it to say. So it's completely possible to do. It's just how you're going to train it, and that's what this data does. It trains it. This is so. If you download one of the files, say you download one of these files, right? You'll see that it's a bunch of numbers and a bunch of like header type things. The numbers are exactly what the AI uses. So it's just finding patterns between the numbers, malicious patterns and safe patterns, and just saying, okay, this is probably safe because the pattern matches these 20 million other files, right? So the problem with training the data is that you have to have the files. So you have to start ingesting all this malware from all these sources, and then you have to start training all the stuff. You have to get the safe files. It's much harder to get safe files than it is to get malicious files. So you need millions and millions and millions of them, and then you train on all that data, and it's just, and then it goes through all that data, and it's like, okay, well, this makes sense because it matches these 20,000 other files, and it's probably safe.
And what's
Sorry,
this
that was really
competition?
technical.
No, that was
No,
good.
it actually made complete sense for a smooth brain like myself. But what does competition look like? Who else is doing this?
There is none. So
Why?
I have no idea. I honestly don't know. I just know that there is nobody who's giving away free training data. That's
Well,
it. Well, there's like Hugging Face that gives away free LLMs and stuff like that, but they don't give away the exact training data. Like you can go on certain platforms and get training data and download like 10 gigabytes of data or 5 gigabytes, but at the level I'm trying to do it, there's nobody that does it. And I'm assuming it's because it's expensive and it's hard to find it.
So can you talk to us, like, what level are you trying to do it at, and like what and why hasn't it been done already? Kind of
I,
like elaborate.
I currently have 45 million samples to analyze and train on. So that's about 4.7 terabytes worth of data. So the storing is expensive. And then you got to train it and you got to use GPU. And it's just, I think the reason nobody does it is because it's just not worth storing all the data. Like, why would I store all these files and give it away for free? Like, how am I going to make money off of that? You know what I mean? And me, I'm like, I don't care about money. Let's just do it and see what happens. And apparently it's working. So,
Got it.
but
Got it.
yeah. So I think the problem is that it's just hard to store the data without having a way to make money off of the data itself.
Can I ask more of a philosophical question? So people who may or may not buy THRT, like they might care about money just naturally speaking. So just want to like maybe like square kind of your thoughts around, yes, you're doing all this for free. I think it's a public good. Like I really vibe with that. But then on the other hand, you have this token, which goes up and down in value, and people may speculate on kind of the work that you're doing and what the implications it might have on the world in a hopefully a very positive way. But yeah, I don't know if you can just kind of square those thoughts at all.
So at the core, this is a nonprofit. That's what it is. It's a nonprofit. It's a charity. What I do is free. I mean, I have sponsors. Yes, I get money from donations. Yes, but that's what I work off of is donations and sponsors. At the core, my entire company's mission is free cybersecurity tooling and education. So the token, like, yeah, the token's cool, and I understand where you're coming from. People give a shit about money. Yes, people care. But at the core of our mission,
especially when you don't have it, right?
Yeah, that's true. But at the core of our mission, money is not the driving factor. So I'm not trying to downplay that people are making money. I want you to make money, obviously. Like, make as much as you can. That'd be cool. Then we can go fishing together. It'll be tons of fun. And But at the core of my mission, money is not there. That's not what I care about.
Are we talking fishing with an F or a PH?
Well,
Not going fishing if you're using THRT, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of fishing do you like to do?
That was like a cybersecurity dad joke, I think.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Honestly, I came up with it on the spot. I love it.
Oh, you hadn't premeditated that one, Josh?
So I just started fly fishing actually. So
Oh, that's cool.
getting
I've
into
never
that.
done fly fishing, but I know some people love it.
It's really hard and I like it a lot. And I just bought a boat, so that's pretty cool too.
Oh, congrats.
I saw the inflatable. Is it the
kayak.
The kayak? Here,
Yeah.
here. Yeah, there it is on my screen.
Whereabouts in I'm assuming you're in the US, but like whereabouts in the US are you
I live in
fishing at?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Oh, you're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was
live in
gonna
the
see if
middle.
anyone could guess based on the this picture
Sorry.
here.
I don't live in
Based on the
Oklahoma.
trees.
Yeah.
What kind of tree is that?
Well, hey, you know those GeoGuessr guys, hey, bro. If you
Oh,
showed
yeah.
one of those
Yeah,
good
that's pretty
GeoGuessr,
crazy.
they're cracked, dude. Do you watch any sports? Like you like Oklahoma football or just the fishing?
I just like going fishing, really.
Yeah.
And camping. I'm really like outdoors, so I like going camping and fishing. I do things where I go randomly camp in the middle of the woods somewhere, like behind Taco Bells and shit, and see if I get caught or not.
That's what gets on these days.
Yeah.
At least you didn't say inside the Taco Bell, because
That would be cool.
That's like next level challenge.
That would be cool. I want to try that. I want to try to sleep in a Walmart and see what happens.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Like
Okay,
those
I-
videos you watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have to ask again about the token here. Just like, so someone who purchases the token, do you want them to like kind of be aligned with your vision and mission, or like, I don't know, like I'm just trying to square like nonprofit open source work, which is very, very noble, then back to this token that has a $1.7 million market cap, and just like what that means. I mean, these two things just in my mind are different. Like, does the token represent maybe the amount of users that this has? Like the more users, the more the token may go up, and then more people discover it. Like ultimately it kind of also helps with discovery, right?
I guess the question is just why launch a token?
Yeah.
I also see a token gated feature here you mentioned in this post. Sorry, there's three people talking.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So the token gated feature for the requests. So a lot of people request me to review stuff, which you guys were talking about at the beginning. I have a really long backlog, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm just gonna make it so that they go in, they hold a certain amount, and then they can request me to review a product for them. As for your question, the token, I can't control other people. You do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to buy it, that's cool. If you don't, that's fine. Like, but the reason I made the token is because, like I said at the beginning, the problem is that we have all this new AI technology come out, and everybody's all about it. They love it, blah, 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 blah. But nobody can peer review what's going on. Nobody's able to go in and be like, hey, why did this say this? You know what I mean? So I was like, how can I solve this issue? About 7-8 months ago, I came up with this idea for THRT. And I was like, so if I put it on blockchain and just stored it and made it public for everybody, what would happen? And I decided to just go with it and see what would happen. I mean, it's a cool idea. I really like the idea. I really thought it was cool, and I went with it. And yeah, it's working. So, I mean, I would like people to be aligned with my mission, yes. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not your freaking dad, man. So
You're not my dad.
Yeah.
I'm going through your Twitter. I see a lot of posts, probably nothing. I'm seeing this one right here. This is the probably nothing one. I saw one up here, probably nothing. Okay, I'm picking up. Oh, might be something. What are these things you're hinting at? No tax is interesting. Like, this is a lot of, I mean, I look at what is this, like a GitHub or something? I look at the GitHub and I'm like, I have no clue what I'm looking at here. Maybe walk us
But definitely
through.
it's something, of course.
It's got to be something, or it's nothing.
So non-slocked X402 is a concept I came up with about 2 weeks ago. So the problem with X402 is that it's cool and it's quick to pay and blah blah blah, but it's easy to tamper on the client side and then send the data back to them and be like, here's what actually happened. They'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So what I do is I hash the data before I send it and then lock it to that hash. And in order to pay, you have to verify that the hashes match and the client didn't tamper it. So it's just a more secure way to perform X402. I just released it today, actually.
Oh, nice.
Like-
Have you seen anyone try it yet, or any
I haven't
feedback
even
there?
looked. I haven't even
Haven't
looked, to be honest with you.
Well, X402 is huge. If you can, or at least it's a growing narrative, I should say. I shouldn't say it's huge yet, but X402 is it's a massively growing narrative. If you can redirect a lot of those transactions through a seemingly better way of doing so, that'd be a big unlock.
Yeah, the facilitator is completely free too. There's no fees. So just come use it how you will.
Interesting. And is that does the X402 nonce locked feature have anything to do with these probably nothing, might be something, probably
Yeah,
nothing
that's
posts?
that's the code for it. Yeah.
Got you. Cool. I don't know. I think I got a much better understanding after, talking with you a little bit here, but maybe roadmap closing thoughts. It seems like everywhere I look, you're working on something new and you have like 5 different things you're working on, probably more. Maybe give us a roadmap or an idea of what you're working on immediately and coming in the next weeks, months, years.
Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to come out with is the SDK for Tracix, and then people will be able to use that, do whatever they want with it. Then I'm going to integrate Phantom login into Tracix so you can log in. Right now, we use nonce-lock X402, but we use the very, very first version of it, so it's really limited on what it can do. And I'm going to make it so you can log in with your wallet, just click buttons and start uploading and downloading and do whatever you want. Like I said earlier, we're about 4 or 5 months ahead of the actual roadmap. There's a whole roadmap out there. I can send it to you if you want. I gotta find it.
Is it on the there's a pin post at the very top of your page here where it's got like a bunch of links, white paper. Is it somewhere in there?
It should be in the Tracix white paper.
Okay, so Tracix. I'm on the Tracix.
Go to downloads. Here.
Downloads. Oh, you just shared it.
Yeah.
Oh, and my PC's hacked. All right, guys.
I was gonna say, like, where do people go to like double check the download section? No, I'm kidding.
Public downloads. Here it is.
Yeah, right there. Just the Tracix light paper, that one.
All right. Here we go.
Just click the download button.
Downloading the random file that I just got sent in the private chat. Here we go. All right, there you go, guys.
And your browser history is on screen.
Yeah, right.
What you watching, man? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking for a roadmap here. Do you know where that is?
And zoom it in, please.
Right,
if
go
you
up.
can,
Up. Right there.
There it is.
Down.
Ah, yes. You want to walk us through some of this?
So XF complete and cache, that's done. Subscription integration is done. THR, the holder verification thing is where I'm at. Similarity hashing is done. Model quality page is done. IOC export is done. Compliance and safeguards I'm working on. So the next thing I'm going to work on is the holder verification and the full subscription integration with the quotas and stuff like that.
Sweet. And for anyone interested, you guys can go and, maybe I'll actually try to use the TradeX app here by dragging and dropping this file.
While you do that, one question I had, I know it's for files. Can you check malicious links?
No, I'm working on that though. I have an idea on how to do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That just popped into my head. I'm like, I wonder if
I have a good idea on how to do it.
This is dude, if you can you should, if you do all these things, like, this is great for people, honestly.
Yeah, it'll say unknown because it's a doc file, a PDF file. I have the ability to scan PDF files. It's just not live. because it's not good right now. It's like really bad. That's like a 3% accuracy. It's really bad. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe hold off on releasing that then.
Yeah. Right now, Trace6 on Windows files and Linux files has a 91.64% accuracy. So I don't release anything until it's over 90%.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we
Nice.
got a much better idea. Josh,
What's
Michelle.
yeah, my last question is just like what your name is, you know, or what do people call you? Do they call you PCEF or THRT or do you
My
have a
name's
name?
Thomas Perkins.
Okay, cool.
My friends call me TJ. The people
TJ
the people who work for me call me Thomas. So
or Mr. Perkins or no?
yeah, no. That's good. I should do that though.
Yeah.
But
Cool. You have like a great vibe about you. I just want to say, like, I watched a little bit of your video and like just, you know, really nice person, cool vibe. So
I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
it's nice to meet like good people doing stuff that's important to keep other people safe. So
Yeah, absolutely. I
appreciate
think
that. Thank
one
you.
thing that popped out for me was the passion that you have for what you do. I think that came across really clear. I think even in the
Oh, I
chat,
love this.
somebody said that as well. So yeah, bro, love this interview. Appreciate you coming on with us here today.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys having me. Even if I wasn't making money off this, I'd still be doing it for free. So I love doing what I do.
That's what you want to hear.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. All right, man. Well, I think we got everything we needed. I think the audience really loved this. I know Pepe in the chat. He was really excited about this interview. So appreciate you coming on again. When you're doing big releases and you'd like to share it with the community live, you're more than welcome to do it here on MCG. We know there's a ton coming up in your roadmap. So feel free to reconnect with us. We'd be happy to have you back on, man. Love good founders on the show.
Awesome. I think that would be cool. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr.
Yeah,
Perkins.
see you, Mr. Perkins.
All right,
Later,
Mr. Perkins.
Bye.
Love
Man,
that. Love that.
really nice guy.
Cool dude. Yeah, cool.
That's what we like to see. Like, that's why crypto's so cool. Is just, you know, obviously there's some I was trying to get at, like, and I wasn't trying to harp on like what the token's for or anything like that, but just kind of like the dynamic. I was trying to understand, like, okay, to use a product, maybe you need to own the token. To get something peer reviewed by him, you have to hold a certain amount. Like, that drives in itself some sort of demand. So yeah, it's just trying to figure that out.
It seems like he'll iterate more on that too as products release. I can't speak for him, but I saw that like recently said, hey, I got 26 different projects. It's too much for one person. If you hold THRT, I'll let you submit projects for me to review. And it's like, so, you know, just utility that kind of comes with it. It seems like is what he's going for there. So
yeah,
sweet,
no, cool product.
Sweet deal.
Let's see what else we got. What else we got, boys?
Bitcoin's been bouncing nicely since the start of the show. Obviously, we moved the markets, right? We bull posted Bitcoin 2% up today. So
we as an MCG or the timeline.
We as an MCG added a couple $1 billion to the Bitcoin market cap.
Not gonna lie, it's up very very nicely. If Mr. Perkins launched a meme coin, it would be worth more than THRT.
Yeah. Why?
Why do you say that?
Mr. Perkins is THRT, bud.
Launch a meme coin, call it Mr. Perkins. Yeah, no, Bitcoin's up. Bitcoin's bouncing really nice. A couple other Fartcoin up 25% on the day. I'm telling y'all, man. And Pump is up a lot.
What's Pump up? You wanna share that screen?
Yeah. Let me share my screen now.
Yeah.
I used to watch Dr. Disrespect a lot, so.
Dude, goat, man. He was great back in the day. I think he got hit with some pretty serious allegations though. So
yeah, I haven't watched ever since. Shout out, but yeah. Let's see, Pump here looking solid. Nice little fat candle on the day. If you zoom into the 4-hour here, it gives you a much better view.
This is exactly like the straight down and then the up 1% meme.
Yeah, dude,
But
that's why I actually posted that yesterday.
here, if we zoom into this little yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mood. So that's like the mood across the board right now. But look, I celebrate all green candles. I respect all green candles. Um, all that good stuff.
Yeah, dude. I just celebrate non-red 5% candles every single day. Is a win in my books right now.
I will say though, little market structure break here, low on lower time frames, but again, I'm looking for. I told you guys last week, almost everything across the board is in like high time frame demand, so I'm looking for any signs of a reversal, and so far I'm kind of seeing that here on pump. So we'll see if it plays out. It's still only on a low time frame. It's a low time frame. It's a low time frame signal.
There's a
So
trade.
can't. But yeah, it looks clean. I just need it to start working its way outside of this demand zone, and once it breaks out of this downtrend that we've been respecting, for a few weeks, or honestly, it's probably been almost 2 months. So it's a multi-month downtrend at this point. So we got to be coming close here, fellas. Got to be coming close here.
Well, there's a similar trade to pump, which is actually up a little bit more today. Met right there, up 11.23%. That one's been looking good. If you go down to the 4 hour, some nice candles there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about this on the at the beginning part of the show. Yeah, your boy is look, guys, I know everyone likes to say, chill, stay away from leverage, bro. I get it. But but I gotta I love looking for these setups earlier
Pepe
this
will tell you, bro, stay away from leverage. Pepe's been there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out
no.
Moby as well.
Yeah, shout out Moby. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's still a pretty slow day, all things considered. Like there's nothing like popping out at me just yet. Because like there's, I think Avicii's doing well. There's a couple memes that are doing well. I think yeah, no, not much. Like all of our ICM bags are holding well. Viva's looking good. ICM ICM is
Can we do a quick so I want to just shout some out, and then let's just go through a couple of those charts, just flash them up, even if they're quick segments. So wanted to actually shout this out because Asset Dash, we're actually streaming on Asset Dash now, as well as of course MCG. But here the new Asset Dash kind of account is a combination of live streaming and real-time news. And so traders now see an 80% increase of a quarter point Fed rate cut in December, a significant increase from under 45% last week. This change follows comments from New York Fed President John Williams, who expressed openness to the cut with a money sign Fed, which is, I'm sure, will be turned into a meme coin. But yes.
dude, I love the mic quality, by the way.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Sounding amazing.
Yeah. Next up is video. So we will up that quality. But yeah, just wanted to shout that out. So on Asset Dash, you'll go get all this news here. And there's our show pinned to the top. In that, Chill, you were mentioning some ICM tickers. Maybe let's do a quick check-in on those tickers for our trenchers. And if you want us to look at any tickers, please drop them in the chat, guys.
Yeah, guys, this is your time. Drop us some tickers. Actually, I wanted to share something here real quick. I'm seeing a little reverse. So let's start real quick. Seeing a reversal here, or at least not a reversal. Let's slow ourselves down. Seeing a bounce here on Bitcoin, right? But I'm also seeing on the macro side, earnings are strong. So equities are looking good. Corporate earnings growth is gaining momentum. So on the on the equity side, the TradFi side, things are looking well. On top of that, liquidations around 89K locally, area to observe for low time frame reversal. So 89K is a key level to watch. We're coming up on that at literally as we speak. We're at 88.7. So let's watch that area. And then last thing, my quant, um, my quant here, Ansem, he said short yesterday. And honestly, I think I'm assuming this is like, rage bait or whatever. But he's not like an actual quant. Like, I like his tweets and stuff, but I don't follow his tweets very very closely. But this is kind of like an inverse signal. Like, this is actually, like, again, just pivot points in the market right now. That's what I'm eyeing for. I'm eyeing for signs of reversal. We're seeing it. We're getting cuts in December. We're getting, liquidity coming into markets. We're getting, earnings are strong. We have, a high time, like a low time frame key level that we're approaching. So a lot of things are lining up here. So what charts should we be paying attention to? So first chart, I would let's look at ICM, one of the favorites of the show. Let me see here. Actually, is this? There we go.
Oh yeah, so for the context on the left there, someone was like trying to make the chart to look like billions in the early days before the liquidity pools were all like set up. So
yeah, that's
why
just liquidity games being played, but forming like an accumulation zone down here. So ICM, really great spot. We know from last week they have a lot coming with the staking. They're trying to make ICM stakers liquid. They're shooting for, I think he said, $1 million per month. So that's something to look out for. They're also coming out with, I believe he said some stuff on the interview last week. I'm not sure. I forget if I read this in a private message or if I don't know. So watch the interview that we did with ICM.run on Friday. Really great information there around, again, staking, founder.fund, what they're doing out there in San Francisco, getting more Web 2 companies and founders on board. And from what they were saying on our interview on Friday, that's actually been going pretty well for them. So so look out for that. ICM.run, buy zone. Looking at Viva next. Viva still literally, like, Viva's giving you so much time to to accumulate. Dude, that was quick. Yeah, giving you a lot of time here to accumulate at a nice key level here. And we know what Viva's literally working on. Literally, one of the biggest takeaways from last Friday's interview was the fact that sovereign AI, right? Like the fact that in Bolivia, they don't allow you to use ChatGPT because the information that you put into ChatGPT is public, right? It's not private. So anyone using it on the back end, they can see exactly what you're talking about. And so that, like, having the entire, like, all of Bolivia being able to access AI via Viva and Meet Kai, I think that's huge. I think that unlocks another value accrual kind of mechanism for Viva. So again, something to keep an eye on there. We know that they're working on tons more than that, but a lot of value coming back to the Viva token, and I'm sure that's why the chart has been holding up here.
How many holders? 7.5K. Look at that. Jeez,
let me see. I remember the last time I checked here.
Wow. 7.5K. That's impressive.
7.5K holders. I actually want to real quick go to Pantheon and see.
Let's also give Santa a look after this too, because I mean, we just had him on, but their chart looks fantastic.
Let's see here. Bang. Loading. I don't think this is accurate. I think this was like close to like 6,000 holders. Or no,
Go
we
to
just saw it.
the
We
go to
just
the
saw it.
Viva token. This is under your watch tokens. Try going search Viva in Pantheon and then go Intel.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't have their holders under the chart. That's not there yet.
No, but I see it on mine. It's accurate.
Guide me.
So go Intel.
Intel.
Yep. And then holder scan. There.
I
you go.
see. Man, look at the holders just going up.
Woo! I
Literally
think
up
that's a
to the right.
premium feature to see with it adjusted to 12 and whatever. But yeah, that's.
I wonder. Let me see if I can do the daily even. No, nothing. Okay, yeah, no, but still, as you can see, holders are growing here, literally up and to the right over the last. I mean, even if you look at the last week, we're up like almost 3x on holders. So looking
And the
really,
vision
really
there from Nate that he said in some chats is, look, it's user acquisition time. Our goal right now is to get as many users as possible, get them educated, and those users turn to purchasing users, right? And they start buying in larger amounts than they currently hold. So look, 7,500 now probably scales to, sounds crazy, hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million plus at some point. Now the goal is turn those users into Viva
buyers.
pilled maxis, right?
Yeah.
And then you see a lot. Then that $1 million liquidity facility that's scaling to 10 million really comes into play. But pretty crazy.
That's huge. And obviously, like, Bolivia has what's their population? Like 12, did he say 12 million population of Bolivia? Let's just look this up live. Bang, 12.6 million. So something to keep an eye on there. We're only at like 7.5K. As you can see here, 7.5K holders. So again, a lot of room for growth here, a lot of potential. And the chart is sitting in a buy zone. So looking good on Viva. Let's go to CPT real quick. I think this is another one that people just kind of don't really fully understand, unfortunately. So
what's the volume? Can we go to 24-hour volume? Because there's like no marginal sellers here. Up on the top right.
Top right.
Or well, down. Right where it says transactions to the right, just directly to your right. All the way over to the right. All the way up.
Oh, got you. I got you. Oh, got you.
Bro, I was following the cursor. I'm like, what is Dom talking about?
Yo, same. I'm like, what is he talking about right now? Got
33K?
Yeah, 33K.
Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much nothing. I think like I don't know why. Like, I mean, this is a pretty massive project. Like, this is like, and it's really different. But I think the education around the SOAR tokenomics, I still see people talking about. They're looking at the holders, right? And they're like, they're looking at, why is there a wallet that owns 90%? Why is there a wallet that owns 3%? Like, that's what they're looking at, and they without really like understanding the tokenomics behind SOAR. So I think that is short term acting as a headwind, but I think that resolves here pretty soon, especially as like SOAR starts to
MCG
go
just put out a ton of clips on SOAR too. A bunch of little and there was so much alpha that Patrick gave on that call. Like, absolutely go back and rewatch it. It's on YouTube. We're gonna we put out clips, but like he dropped a ton, and I think the vision is really clear for those that listen. If you want to front run me, guys, I got it right here. I'm working on CPT thread, ICM thread, Viva thread, CLED thread from that call we had on Friday. We got so many good clips, and I feel like I just want to highlight some of those. So if you want to front run me there, but definitely, like, if you missed that episode, please go and watch it. I think it really cleared up the vision Patrick has, and like kind of just shared how big the industry is that they're trying to tap into. And again, this is private equity. That's how you should really be looking at that. Yeah, there you go.
As I stated last week on the MCG, we don't call ourselves a podcast, but we'll let it slide. Quality is non-negotiable. We only speak to partners who can produce Impulsor Tech's proprietary components to the highest standard that we demand. No compromises on the mission. The bar is set. And that is in relation to this partnership. $2 billion market cap, publicly traded, NASDAQ listed, the only, I believe, semiconductor producer in the United States, all components being built in the US. I mean,
Which Patrick is bullish on.
Patrick is bullish on. This is a great kind of look. I mean, like, he's in the lab, you know. Look at the little arm thingies.
It's funny though. It's funny. He put out this tweet, and I don't think he announced an official partnership in this tweet. I think he just kind of said, "Hey, visiting them." Patrick is really doing well at communication. Like, I actually love watching his tweets.
Hold up. Yo, this was dropped 2 days ago, I believe on Saturday. We chose police drones as our first industry for a couple of reasons. Growing use of drone technology still has clear inefficiencies that disrupt operations. Police forces globally use drones to offer an extra eye on situations. The issue stems from the human point, which is probably human input. This basically means people having to like pull the drone out of the car, put the battery in, launch it, look at it, that kind of stuff. Every time a drone needs to be charged and operated, it's a manual task, taking valuable minutes from an operator's time that could be used carrying out their task versus maintaining a drone, time that could be saving lives with MagRes CPT. Whoa. Okay, so this is a product name that the first time we've actually seen a product name, MagRes CPT.
I don't think, is it a product name or is that just a type of technology?
There's three types of
magnetic resonance.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Via charging hives that require no human contact to charge drones. Drones will be suited with GPS tracking on charging pads to automatically recharge, giving them more time in the field and less times having their batteries charged. Wow.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember when Dupe first came out and everyone was like, oh my God, like it's just for furniture, right? Like they didn't really understand the broader vision behind it. I think that's the same thing like with CPT. Like people are like, oh, like it's just for drones, or oh, like, the tech looks, stupid. I don't really know. But I think people are underestimating the broader vision of what drones is just the first use case. That's just the first market to tap into, right?
Yeah,
and then
shout out homie Ryan Babel too.
Shout out to homie Ryan Babel. I wonder if he's watching right now. He says he watches us a lot. So shout out to the main man.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed on the head, Chill. People have a very, very tight view of what they think CPT is, I think. And I don't know. I just really want Patrick to communicate that, where it's like, hey, we can do the police drones. And by the way, guys, police drones, I don't know, riddle me this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's got to be some sort of government contract. And
that's a huge government contract. Absolutely.
And,
I mean, they said it on our first stream, and I'll keep saying it again. They said they already have governments interested. They already have contracts that are, kind of like in process type thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to meet. He didn't want to disclose too much.
Keep in mind, what do police drones enable that you can't do today? Today, all this type of surveillance by police forces are done by helicopter, which is a highly expensive method of surveilling certain situations. If you could have a fleet of drones, you could essentially replace what the hundreds of millions of dollars of capex that you spend on helicopters, right? So, and plus you get wide dispersion with a drone. So I think there's a really, like, beyond just, oh, this is a cool technology that police forces might play with, there's actually an economics reason why police forces would migrate away from expensive helicopters, pilots, fuel, all this aviation training to a drone-based platform.
Yeah.
Huge. You want to check out the Santa chart? Because that one is looking good. We got a request.
Yeah, let's do Santa next. So we just had Santa on. Let's look at this here on the 12-hour. Oh man, yeah, that looks perfect. I'll just even hit it like that. But yeah, that's a strong bounce off of just last week. They hit a low at 2.5, just a little below that, and now they're kind of grinding up. Even today, like it's showing a lot of strength off this bottom from over the weekend. Looks good, guys.
Key takeaways from Santa. I think their vision's pretty clear, right? I think they're tapping into a big market. We know those super apps are big. And again, like just further reinforcing how much the rest of the globe wants to get their hands on US dollars and barter in that. It's just like it's a very clear vision. So I think they're tapping into the right niche. What we need to see next from Santa is usage, right? I think that's where Avicii's
Yeah.
is selling right now. Is their usage is growing. They're doing like great numbers month over month in terms of growth. Like the people are really deeming it as like the people's neobank. Santa, if Santa can get some good growth numbers, show that they're profitable, doing some revenue, and like moving in the right direction, I think that's where you can get a chart that goes vertical. So
Yeah,
what are
no,
your takeaways?
100%. 100%.
I did ask him about usage, and I don't feel like I got like a number that I could write down.
No,
V2s where they really are putting their chips, right? They think
well,
V2
yeah.
will bring it.
I mean, during the interview, like we asked him about like competitors and how do they differentiate themselves. And again, didn't really get like a straight on, but during that, the answer to that, he said, you know, when we do get to a point when we can compete against Avicii, like almost as if like again, like what Dom said, they're putting their chips on V2, like they're waiting on V2 to really compete in a meaningful way. And I think that was kind of the vibes that I got from his answers so far is like, hey, look, we got the L1, we got the stable coin, we got, you know, a whole ecosystem that we're building in app. But this all kind of like activates in a meaningful way with V2. So we'll just keep an eye on them. So and I think, you know, maybe the ethical banking also is a mode of theirs. So maybe just kind of keeping an eye on that. But overall,
Do we want to look at Karma too? Another like a neobank beta.
yeah, let's see. Karma up 22% on the day. Holy, let's
I
see.
did give a soft shill in my Telegram.
Oh, the Dom candle. The Dom candle. That's what that is. Let's see. I think there's like a much larger downtrend in play. I don't know if I even maybe even a range. Let me see something real quick. What I like doing on these charts, especially at times like this, is just kind of mapping out a range that the chart has spent a lot of time in, right? So the chart has spent like, you know, multiple weeks in this range here between 1.5 and 3 mil. So like I would basically draw like a midline, like let's just say like this is the middle of the range. You know, like this is kind of middle of the range is no man's land. Below the midline here, good buy zone. Above it is more of like, okay, let's see if it actually breaks out and retests the top or if it just goes back down to the bottom, right? Because if you bought here, here, or here, you would have been underwater and you would have been just kind of like floating underwater in your bags. But again, if you bought below the midline here, 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 you know, after identifying a nice range, you know, could have been a great place to buy. So, but look, ranging, accumulating, not bad, not bad. Bouncing off the bottom of the range, not bad at all. Karma within meta. So chart doesn't look too bad. Chart doesn't look too bad.
Gonna reach out, try to get them back on the show. We have had them on, so feel free to go watch their episode with us. Amirix is a good guy. It's from a founder standpoint. I do like the kid.
Yeah. So check out our YouTube, search Karma. You'll probably find it there. Outside of that, let's
Saw
see.
someone
Let's
looking for
see.
Kermit.
Oh,
You said
yes.
G Kermit this morning. I'm unfamiliar. Maybe. I mean,
All right,
definitely a
guys.
meme, right?
So Kermit's just been like this strong chart over the weekend. And when you look at it on the 12-hour, you really get a sense of what the heck is going on. Obviously, meme coin guys, you know, so take it with a grain of salt. I wouldn't tell you to buy here. This is basically the top. You know, if I'm looking at okay, I don't know what the heck that was. If we're looking at like entries on something like not G Kermit, but Kermit, you know, it would be more of like a retracement to some lower levels. You know, maybe I don't know me. If gun to my head, I'd say the buy zone is here.
Okay, why
And
though?
and hold on, let me just bang buy zone. Buy zone. All right, cool. So that will be mine. Look, from what I get with meme coins, and you guys know me, I trade anything. I just buy good coins, bros. So why is this a good coin? The community around it looking pretty good. They raid really heavy. Some of my meme coin quants also have good things to say about this one. And basically, the narrative that's forming from a community standpoint is, Pepe the Frog is like one of the biggest memes in crypto, but the OG frog Kermit hasn't gotten any love. So they're kind of giving it love. So that from that standpoint, so if you're bullish on Kermit, this is probably a place to buy. That would be potentially a place to buy in my smooth brained opinion. But just chart wise, just going straight off the chart is the chart looks strong. Since we're going through meme coins, let me just go through an example of why some of these pullbacks are really a good thing to buy on some of these, meme coins that are actually showing strength. One recently that has been going crazy is Wojak. Now, Wojak went completely vertical, right? So we can even say that Kermit potentially could be here, right? Wojak shows us ton of strength going up, pulls back to a zone here at like a little below 8 mil and ran 2x off of that bottom, right? So I just trade good charts, I trade good coins, and if I see something that's showing strength in a market that's predominantly bearish, I'm going to pay attention to that, because whether I like it or not, whether I like memes or not, whether doesn't matter what I think from a philosophical standpoint, people are buying this for one reason or another. And I respect green candles, and in that I respect those buys and that market interest. So I actually had a limit set for, I wanted a little bit lower. Actually, I wanted like 6 mil. I wanted to retest this area here. I wanted it to kind of tap that, but didn't really get that, but that's fine. But again, strong charts. But yeah, G Kermit. Pepe said he got Kermit at 1 mil market cap. Bull posters have been going crazy. Kermit IP is free to use, no problems as well. Yeah, so opportunities in the market.
About Kled. Kled's bouncing a little bit. I like where we're at.
Let me see. Kled.
Also, I heard Umbra got they saw Umbra's powering some sort of technology that's hot right now.
Ooh.
And
oh,
yeah,
do
look
we
at
see
that.
what's going on here?
Every
Oh
time.
no. Oh no.
Do we see what's going on here? Look, I told you guys on Friday, guys, I'm going to draw this red box at the 0.786, getting a reaction already. You know what? We might get a buy in this zone. And look at that. The red box hit. So look, I just like drawing red boxes on good charts. That's just what I like to do. Yeah, very simple. But yeah, Kled from a chart standpoint, looking very good here. Great place to buy. And I think there's some motion, some momentum around street. Yeah, not financial advice. Not financial. Just commenting.
Amazing place to buy and full port, honestly. And no, not financial.
Let's see here. What else do we want to go through?
Umbra Orgo.
Yes, Umbra. Yeah, so you're talking about some deal that Umbra?
Yeah, so let me surf the Twitter sphere real quick. So Umbra's popping today. I heard they are powering some sort of technology that's doing really well right now, and people are like, "Oh, Umbra's powering this," and it was like a pretty, I guess a good moment to show that their technology is being adopted, and I believe that's why it's popping. So let me see if I can find anything on that.
Got it. So from what I understand, yeah, like privacy play here. Wait, hold on. Are they really? Or is that it?
Or
No shot. There's no way.
Guys,
that's right. Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, that's right.
I will say I've been like, this has been on a watch list. Wow. Or
privacy powered by Umbra. This was Tully said, or with a privacy protocol would be fire.
Okay, let me see. Is this speculation or is
Oh,
this
okay.
confirmed?
Let's see here. Let me go to the Umbra. Go to the Umbra account. Let's see if so guys, this is a part of the show where we're currently researching why a chart is pumping. So look, we do research on ICM projects live on stream for you. We chart live. We do all this stuff live, guys. So you're kind of getting the inside look as to how things are done here.
I
Now,
reached
I
out to the Aura
remember,
team, man. I wanted him on the show. No response.
yeah, dang. Yeah, I definitely wanted them on as well. I remember when we had Umbra on. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything confirmed about Or, but I remember having Umbra on and they talked about the SDK for builders. Dude, like when people start talking about SDKs, I start to get, interested.
The
Really good
buzzword that
tweet
gets
here.
chill. If you want to get chill to bid your coin, mention SDKs. That's the alpha.
That's it.
For any
That's it.
founders on board. Let's read Luke. I don't know who Luke is. Can't confirm he's saying a dang thing that's got any credibility to it, but let me just read this because I did see he mentioned something. I believe Umbra has a very good chance at being a privacy protocol that Solana founders and team push. Not only is a MetaDAO project, Futardio, but it's also, which by the way, MetaDAO is just absolutely trailblazing. But it's also got the following of Solana. We should check MetaDAO chart after this. Solana founders and one of the very few, if not only Solana native privacy projects with a ticker that has a follow from Mert. Mert does like his privacy. Umbra is now working with Or Supply to add privacy to the SOV on Solana. Or the Solana-backed SOV, also a Futarchy, by the way, would likely use Solana's backend privacy protocol. Both of their teams are very well connected with Solana and its entire ecosystem. Umbra's mainnet launches in a few weeks, and the chart looks bottom. Might not be a bad idea to accumulate some now. Not a terrible thesis here by Luke Knowles. But again, this claim that it's Umbra is working with Or to add privacy to the SOV on Solana. I'm not seeing where that's confirmed by anyone. Did Or confirm it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can click on and see if Or
with a privacy protocol would be fire. Let's see what his thread's looking like. Okay, so Mert's talking about ZEC, nothing new there. We see all the big hitters, Kyle Samani talking about it, totally.
Crew mentioned that there was some ZEC bridge that they were building to Umbra. I don't remember exactly what he mentioned, but just to note.
Yeah, see, is this maybe pumping just because of a totally shill and speculation? I'm not seeing any confirmation there.
I think it's a speculative pump in my opinion.
This guy got specific with it though. Yeah, but I think you're right.
I think maybe maybe in some Telegram chat, there was something that could have been shared in like a Telegram community group or something, but I'm not seeing it confirmed by Umbra or, and I'm not seeing anyone really like talk about it. But yeah,
let me go to the Umbra site here. Maybe they have like partnerships that they listed and Or's listed. Maybe let's see.
Well, if you share my screen, I just found something a little bit interesting.
Naughty.
We're seeing Or whales get involved, so maybe there is some. Shout out Moby. Shout out Moby. Use the MCG code. But as you can see, Or whales are buying Umbra in nice little chunks here. So I want to see actually if there are any active DCAs on Umbra.
And also, we might have some Moby codes. I know if you get codes, you can get like a starter allocation. Let me check my Moby app. We might have some codes to give away if we want to just make a post about that at some point.
Yeah, for sure. And like real quick as well on Umbra, looks like Moby has active DCAs, one active DCA on Umbra right now. Total amount 23,000, and that'll equate to about almost 400 per minute. And they're 36% filled so far on the position. So as you can see, if you go to Moby Screener here, And right under the Umbra chart, if you go to active DCAs, you can see just 40 minutes ago, there's a DCA order that came in. And again, a lot of buying happening on this chart. So I would say maybe this isn't so much speculation. This definitely seemed like it was information shared somewhere. If or whales are buying,
Here,
there's some extra speculation.
I got a good idea. I'm just gonna ask the team. Let's see. Umbra. All right, we'll let you know, guys, if Umbra messages
That's
back.
the MCG power. We will definitely put any clarification that they say we can talk about on the replies to the tweet notes.
Yeah, maybe we quote tweet it later with a clip of this segment. So yeah, you definitely want to be following us at MCG Live. New at just dropped over the weekend.
Let's go.
That's right. Yeah, at MCG Live. I love it. It actually rolls nicer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have that. What else do we have? I wanted to look at.
Can we look at MetaDAO?
Yeah.
Oh, meat. Whoa. What is
Wait a second.
Wrong one. He just clicks on what's he's got the muscle memory there.
That's crazy.
Dude, Meta. I don't even want to mention it on stream, but you guys might be. Oh no, you guys would maybe Chill would be the generation. I'm not gonna mention it.
No, you know what the rule on MCG is. Once you start saying it, you gotta.
No. It was an early 2000s thing, so early internet meme. But anyways,
edgy.
Got you. It looks like you got a response from Umbra, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but while we figured that out, I mean, look, Meta's looking really nice. We talked about it last week. I told you, like, this little buy zone here, this region right below 480. Anything in here is a pretty good buy. This it tapped that just a few days ago over the weekend. So if you bought that, really nice buy, you're already in profit about, what's that, like 10%? Ooh, 30. Nice little 30% move off the bottom over the weekend. So looking very good. Meta's looking good. Meta charts are looking good. So what you have to start acknowledging is, is this going to be a bull market for ownership coins? Is this going to be a bull market for coins that actually mean something to hold? And so you definitely want to, watch out for that, be aware of that, make sure, anything that you're buying could, potentially even, fit into that sort of thesis. But
that Meta chart's holding like a rock, man. What a beast.
Yeah. That thing is looking good. What else do we have? Anything else that we want to go through?
Dupe's come back down since it's
it's in a buy zone
a little bit. Is that right?
See. I mean, I consider below 20 mil. Yeah, look, it's been in this range for a pretty long time. It's been in this. It's a wider range, right? Like 4.5 to 17. That was a wider range, but it's kind of testing this this as support. We've seen it act as resistance here, maybe even a little bit here. It kind of interacted with it a lot here, but now it's kind of testing it as support rather than resistance. So nice little SR flip, could be a potential buy in my opinion. If I was trading this chart, not financial advice. Don't follow what a PFP of Blue Lock Anime does on Twitter. But that's Dupe. Dupe is looking good. Look, they have a stacked team. They have a lot of things going for them. They were recently interviewed on Fox News. They were recently #1 in the App Store.
Some light.
I mean, not every day that you see a crypto project just, casually talking on the news as we go into Black Friday season, by the way, So something to be aware of, something just to take note of. But yeah, other.
Okay, what about Solomon Labs? Can we talk about that? I've been having like a little bit of trouble on the secondary market finding it and buying it. The liquidity pools are kind of weird and fragmented.
Really?
Yeah,
I
okay, that one. There you go. You found that one instantly.
Yeah, I got it. I got it on my my terminal too on Padre. Came up just fine for me.
Okay.
Waiting on this to refresh, by the way. Waiting, waiting.
Yeah, I
It's not
think here's
reloading.
the thing about Solo. Huge potential if they can pull this off the right way. That does not mean they can, but they did raise a lot of money. So right now the market cap, it's at ICO price exactly right now at 0.8, which puts it at a 10 million market cap, 20 million FTV, which the FTV will not be released unless they reach like some sort of insane milestone. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. But again, potential's huge on this. They took more money from the raise than I think anyone else has in the past. So there's obviously more selling pressure naturally from that. But I don't know if done.
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, dude, you're
Apologize.
laughing because I'm not convincing enough to chill Solo now, and so it's dumping on our heads while I'm doing that. It's funny to you, chill.
Dude, like as soon as you said that, just a massive
Boom.
dump.
Go to 1 minute candle. Did it actually?
It might have been Mev.
Maybe Mev, yeah, maybe Mev, but I mean, like literally.
Yeah,
I-
Someone
I'm-
was
he's
just
talking about
waiting, and yeah, sell.
No, but the truth is like they need to get their numbers up. Like they need to get their numbers up. They need to get users using it. They need to get adoption. It's a very hard product to get adopted because you need to basically secure trust for people. And there is like with stable coins, there is a possibility that they go bust, right? So people don't want to put all their faith in that. So if Solo can pull off their mission, I think the people want access to ownership over stable coin rails. I guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that much. They just got to do it right and pull it off. Does that mean 10 million is a good bet? I don't know. Like that's for you to decide, but it's something to
I'm
watch at the
always-
very least.
Yeah, I'm always like I see the potential in a crypto native stablecoin. Before it was UST, and we all saw how that ended. So, like you said, there's this natural kind of hesitancy towards like a new stable coin. But what I did like is that he said it will be backed by US treasuries. So we know from a backing standpoint, it's not going to be like, what was behind UST. So we know the mechanism there is looks good. He talked about the mechanism that the delta neutral strategy, I believe, that is behind the value of the stable coin as well. So they have a few things going for them, but yeah, I would like to see like, things like usage, but at the same time, like, I think this is like a pretty decent zone. Like, I mean, if I'm being greedy, like,
Frankly, I do want a little lower as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
They took the most money. I think there's some sort of effect that's going to have. Again, means starting market caps higher than the previous ones. It means that there's more supply on the market. And so I do think that's going to have some sort of effect. And maybe it's going to take a little longer to iron itself out than maybe Avicii did or some of the others. But that's my take on it.
But that's why I don't really I don't really get involved with the raise. I always buy the post-launch dip. There's always a post-launch dip because of FUD, whether it's needless or meaningless or not. There's always something that like, comes out and like, oh my gosh, like people are talking about how, oh my gosh, they took the most money that doesn't reflect the type of team. Like literally his brother is working at what was it, OpenAI?
What is it? Some small company. Yeah, OpenAI. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be some sort of FUD, and eventually it gets cleared. What I'm thinking here is we maybe visit a little below this range as this resolves over the coming days, because if it's not pumping right now, which the market is pumping. So literally, if anything's not pumping right now, it means that there's some sort of discrepancy in the market that's making buyers hesitate, right? So yeah, that's Solo. Did you want to cover Umbra?
Matter of fact, I did. Let's get a drum roll, please, guys. As MCG does, we're hunting Alpha live, and we're going to make a clip out of this. So here's what's going on, guys. We reached out to the team at Umbra. Shout out crew, mad responsive, hit us quick. And here's what we found. And I can share my screen right now, okay, if you want to tab there. So here's what's going on, guys. The rumors are OR is pushing for a partnership with Umbra, and that's why we're seeing a little pump in Umbra. Again, this would be great for adoption. If OR is going to adopt, I think we probably see some sort of chain effect where that reaches other founders and we get some sort of adoption cascade, hopefully. That being said, we got Hard Hat Chad right here, who is foreman at OR Supply, and he posted this: OR as a DeFi collateral now live on Project Zero. Okay, cool, whatever. But Kai said one privacy and payments with OR. In conversation with a few Solana native privacy teams now and analyzing options, aiming to support a private transfer and swaps, will integrate at least one option into Forefront app: Umbra, Cloak, and Vanish Trade. Okay, very interesting. Now, tab over to Discord. Thank you, Harkle, for posting this. This was taken from the Discord, again, sent to us via crew from the team. In the Discord said, we got an intro to Umbra team. I'm pushing to get support for Shield transfers. If we get this, we should be able to add front-end support on the web app. Take this with a grain of salt. Crew did say, ideally, it's OR's decision to make on who they go with as a provider for their privacy protocol on the privacy side of it. But you have it from the horse's mouth there. They are in conversations. They're in talks and leaning towards Umbra. Boom, Alpha. Clip it. Done.
Clip it. And little degen play with OR. Have you guys seen Collat's recent launch?
No, I haven't.
All right, well,
what's Pierre been cooking up?
Since let's see, since we're on this collateralize. All right, I'm not gonna do this search live. There's a lot of there's a lot of crazy suggestions coming on here. Collateralize.
It's actually because Chill does not spell collateral, but
yeah,
that's a different.
I'm like, oh crap, what the heck am I doing here?
I'm kidding.
Collat. Here we go.
Do you want to pull that chart up before we dig into it? But yeah, Umbra is getting a nice little pop from that. I think it does. I does think it goes to show that Umbra might have something real good here. If OR's like step one. If OR adopts it, I think many more maybe follow suit. So bullish Umbra. I will be watching that much more closely. Coming up.
No, very bullish on Umbra. I actually love that. And I mean, look, like he said, it's OR's decision. So I think the fact that it's their decision to take advantage of this or not will kind of also show from a builder side, perhaps even the potential or ease of integration of something like this. Okay, so Collat. This wasn't really Collat, really specific to Collat itself. But when you go to, why does it say that their Twitter does not exist? I know it does. So can you take it to me? Can you take me to it, please? Okay, it's saying that it says the Collateralize HQ Twitter account doesn't exist. Am I missing something here?
Let me see.
Might have changed their handle.
Might have changed their handle. Might have gotten a little Twitter suspension, as Twitter likes to do.
Let's see. Here we go. They did change the handle to collateralize. Oh, it wasn't collateralize. It was collateralize. Okay, that's the. So as you can see here, pinned on the Collat.
I did see that actually.
Pinned on the Collat page is their first DAT on collateralize.
First DAT on Collat, boy.
And it's an OR DAT. So I've actually had this on my watch list for quite some time. It is lower market caps. I'm not going to pull up the chart or anything like that, but this is all public knowledge. OR is this is the first DAT for OR created by or at least like made on the collateralized platform, and obviously this is a pinned tweet by Collat, so you know they're also involved on this as well. So I've always kept this as, you know, something to keep an eye on the watch list, because I'm like, if there's something bullish coming for OR, then, you know, it would also mean something good for the DAT built on top, right? So something to put on the watch list, but you know, not Collat specific as far as the token is concerned, but just a little something for the watch list, boys. Keep an eye on that.
I don't know how much longer you want to go, but I do want to kind of close off when we get to wrapping on a tweet I put out. I think it'd just be a good conversation for us to have to kind of analyze what traits make a project successful. And I want to talk through it because Avicii's done a really good job, or I should say Ram specifically, founder of Avicii, has done a really good job of communicating. And there's something there that I think we can learn as traders or as founders to make good decisions when it comes to investing in projects. So whenever you guys want to get to that, I want to have that conversation, but we can go through some more charts too.
Honestly, we I think we gave chat a minute.
A couple, one that we haven't pulled up, but Virus is launching their next game imminently. So it might be worth pulling that up to get on people's radars again.
Boom. Let's see. Yeah. Catching a pump out of this zone that we marked out last time that we looked at it. This was when their first game came out and it just absolutely ripped. Is that the second game, jail.fun? Is that one?
Mhm.
I've been tracking their page and with some. I'm glad I'm not searching jail.fun live on stream.
Yeah,
oh my god.
no, that's
That would be
I can
on
imagine.
X. Oh man,
I can imagine. You can't search any words on X at all
Literally,
without
bro.
getting something you can't show on
no,
stream.
a little disappointing that X has let that fester a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
bro, they're
good
gonna
luck.
continue. They're gonna continue letting that fester, bro. They're gonna continue letting that fester, dude. But anywho, yeah.
How do you guys feel about the Pandemic Labs games and their strategy of making them more like not so much playable games, but like mental games, called Squid Game-esque, style? It seems like Tuna, that's this direction he wants to stick with. I really wanted to play the games. Like, I want a really good Web3 game I can play. I can do the mental gymnastics. That's cool, but I don't actually think that's what people really want.
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm gonna go with what you mentioned. I like games that you can play, right? I'm talking like real games. Like there's a lot of like FPS games out there that tend to go really crazy. And if there is a layer that you can just add on like a secondary market, but like not something cheap, right? Like not something that doesn't affect the gameplay but can still accrue value. I think that would be nice, but I don't know if anyone has really have they really like figured that out yet,
Frankly,
have they really-
I was pretty disappointed with season 2 of what was the first game the Pandemic Lab put out, or the third, I guess. Addicted. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a very sticky game. The goal is to keep users online as long as possible in the app, in the game as long as possible. And that was one of those things you would log in, make a decision in about a minute, and then log off and not touch the game at all. And I don't know. I don't think that's the way. But hey, I'm
Yeah.
not the founder.
Yeah, I think there's for what it's worth, I think that there's still some things to figure out on that side. I think there's still things to figure out. But yeah, I mean, look, charts low, it's in a buy zone, so if you feel like it has some upside, go for it. Yeah. Outside of that, what other charts did you want to check? I think the chat. I don't think there's
Infra,
any.
Orgo, and ZKSL are 3 I'm seeing if you want to cover any of those. Infra is getting a pump right now. Shout out Josh for highlighting that. Not sure if they put any updates. I'm not really following this one super close. We did have Infraboy on the show at like right after launch. Actually, if anyone picked up a bag right after launch when they came on our show, you're doing very well. I did not, to be frank with all you guys, but Yeah, I think the supply control is pretty heavy in that one, and people seem to have faith in what InfraBoy is building. I've heard he's a very cracked dev. I can attest to that.
So this is infra. Let me look at infra. Wow, 66% on the day. Geez, let's
Red
take a
box.
look.
Man, and he sent us a bunch of stuff he was working on too,
Did
like
he?
last week. Yeah. And I think we were on stream and just like whoop, right over our heads, which might have been that might have been a glitch, ignoring that.
Big glitch. We get like genuinely, we are in so many chats with messages
Yeah.
all the time. It can be so hard to keep up.
We get lost in the sauce. Not gonna lie, this red box did hit though. Just saying. Just saying that hit twice. Just saying, dude. If you ever see a red box on my chart, just know that we chalk that up on stream live. Okay, so infra's looking good. What's making them pump? What's going on here? Let's see. I'm gonna
Trying
pull
to
up.
figure out what's going on here.
Sorry, I you mentioned chats, and I just had to look over to go through some chats that are obviously constantly having messages in them. So, yeah, you lost
Let's
me for a
see.
sec.
No, you're good. You're good.
Wait, did InfraBoy docs? Was that his face I saw?
I don't think so. I don't think that was him. I think that was
It's a funny video I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Davo
see.
team's hilarious.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing anything, and I'm really scared. Let me really scared to search anything while we have live stream pulled up. So let me search this real quick, see if I can find anything. All right. Infra, not seeing much action on this.
What's volume on that 24 hours? It doesn't take much to pump these things. That's the thing. I think there's just like no marginal sellers on this. Yeah,
Geez,
70K puts it
70K.
60% up.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So
Actually, so what is that? How much volume is that?
70K last 24
More like-
hours.
Well, not quite 70K. More like, what would you say? Like 670K.
Yo, freaking this guy, bro. You know what? Since we want to bring up 6-7, let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart then. I don't even.
Oh, nope.
Let me see. I think what's going on with this TikTok trend is, I think the creator of the trend launched a coin on Pump Fund. I think, and I think that's
like
why
the rapper.
No, not 6-7, the rapper, like the little kid that came up with the meme.
I thought it came from the guy that goes 6-7. I just bit right on the highway.
Honestly, I have no idea where this meme comes from. I'd be happy to look into it if you guys want me to. But
you can look into it on your own time. Just get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, no, but chart has been like freaking strong as ever. And again, you see this like pullback, and now it's curling on. That's why like I just look for strong charts. Like if there's a strong chart, like why not? But yeah, that's 6-7 since you brought it up. Anywho,
Orgo question mark?
Orgo. Let's take a look at Orgo.
We should cap this soon too. We've been rolling.
Yeah, I think this is a really good place. This is a good place to stop. We hit Orgo, and then we can hit your tweet, and then
it's just stairs up. I mean, walking the dog.
Looking freaking phenomenal here.
Orgo is
Scout Fund.
Yeah, A16C. I was gonna say walking the dog, or is the dog walking you on this chart, which is also what happens.
Yeah, for real. Dog walking you. That's actually pretty good. Pretty good one. Yeah, no, looking really good here on Orgo. Honestly, I was just looking to see some of these lines, how they played out. But yeah, this one, Orgo looks ready.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he
a
has
damn
some
good chart.
updates. Yeah, I think he has some updates he wanted to cover as well. I think
Oh, he's coming on Thanksgiving, right? Thursday.
Yeah, yeah, he's on Thursday. I don't know what to do with Thursday, by the way, guys, because we scheduled some stuff there, including Maya from
We have a
Street.
banger on Thursday.
It's like a bit of a banger stream, so I don't, you know, I know you guys are in Thanksgiving, so you just let me know. But
No, I mean, hey, look, if there, I have a feeling Spencer's gonna be like, oh wait, I didn't realize Thursday was.
yeah, that's
And
what
and Maya's in San Francisco too, so I think they're both American based. We might have to cancel that, which is cool. I'm not gonna be on Thursday.
yeah. So
No matter what.
I'll double check with them, and we might move it. But yeah.
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah, that's
outside of
that's pretty much it. The only other one I had on a chart is KNet. I don't know if there's any follow on from KNet.
we are not gonna look
KNet.
at KNet, bro.
Is it looking
Okay.
bad?
I mean,
No,
it just
Apparently they own
retraced
80% of supply, right?
apparently, but they
Apparently.
but this thing just like faded again, bro. And who knows? Like maybe they have like more things planned. But yeah, last time we looked at this chart, I looked at like some of the pumps that it had and how it just kind of fades off. Pump, fade, pump, super fade, pump, does nothing with it. Pump so far does nothing with it, and it's curling like.
Did they did they create an exit event just to one last time get out of here?
One last time.
They're
Oh my
posting
God.
November 22nd. They posted.
Yeah, they posted. So my thing is like, is this curl gonna? Oh shoot! Oops. Is this curl gonna be the same curl that was here? Is this curl gonna be the same curl that we saw here? Is this curl gonna be the same curl that we saw here? Right? Like, are you starting to get the picture? You starting to get the picture? Like, they come up with like something that pumps the chart, but then it just fades. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to do with KNet. Like this, essentially, like this could look like a really nice chart if we look at the 4 hour and we really go in. You know, maybe you can like say, oh man, like nice, nice curl, looking good for a reversal. But like if you zoom out, like how many times would you have told yourself that? And how many times would you have like walked yourself?
How many times did you tell yourself that, Chill? I'm curious.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's
Too
not
many.
ask questions that we don't want the answers to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, like I have to see a little bit more from them.
Yeah.
And I mean, 80% supply control, that's not something you can ignore. So at some point, this chart is going to go up, especially if they have that much. And honestly, are we really comfortable with them having that much supply control, right? Like,
I'm not touching KNet.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot much. There are much better setups. Like my married PVS bags that are much better to focus on.
Yeah, there's a lot
for me personally. Outside of that, yeah, I think we're good. Honestly, Dom, if you want to get into that tweet that you had.
Sure, we can close off on this note then. As traders, I just think this is stuff we should figure out because it helps us make decisions for the next one. Obviously, each trade is unique, each project's unique, each founder's unique, each situation's unique. But we definitely want to learn from the ones we can. Avicii obviously has been one we've extensively covered on the show, and it's been a really easy size trade. There's been no incredible pullbacks. Like there's been nothing really that should shake you out other than just taking profit on the way up. And with that said, I'm trying to figure out myself what made it such an obvious and easy play. And there's a few things I could attribute to it, but I just want to get this conversation going and see what you guys think in both the chat and obviously my co-hosts here. And I'll read the tweet. I said, Avicii simply will not stop. Avicii, and more specifically, its founder, Ram, what an idiot, dude. Jeez, gotta use Grok to spell check my stuff. Nonetheless, Avicii, more specifically, its founder, Ram, has been excellent in communication, sharing clear vision, and displaying a community-first mantra. I think the skill set should be embraced more by founders. Pair this with a tangible growth and a superior product, you get a chart that is massively outperforming in a turbulent market. As a holder, holder and owner, I feel drawn to use and evangelize the product, which is easy to do when the product and vision are extremely compelling. Big lesson there. Similar competitors sit at a much lower valuation. I'm trying to discern the reasoning, and I think finding the answer will be powerful from both a founder's and trader's perspective. Is it the ownership aspect MetaDAO has enabled? Is it the expected and continued communication from Avicii? Is it the incredible growth metrics? Is it the time in the market over a year prior to launch? Is it the clear and attainable vision of on-chain neobanks that RAM portrays? Or is it a mixture of all? Interested in this discussion because I think there's a big lesson in there for those who can figure it out. And happy all-time high, Avicii all-time high for those who celebrate. But yeah, I don't know, guys. When you think about Avicii, is there one specific thing? There's a mixture of things you can contribute their success to, because it's been incredible the way it's outperformed in the worst markets we've seen in years, I would say. What would you attribute Avicii's success to? If you had to pin it down to one thing, what do you think has been their biggest factor of success? And then if you had to maybe break it down to like a number of things.
Yeah, so I'll take this one. Look, Avicii, they're doing multiple things very well, right? Like, I think their founder is literally doling out, like giving a master class in how to interact with CT, right? You have great fundamentals. You have great like token holder dynamics, we'll call that, or even token holder incentives. Couple that with a founder that's, not to say in your face and tweeting 24/7, but when he does react, or when he does come on the timeline, when you do see him, he's actually sharing some really nice information that tends to kind of give you more insight on where the project is headed. So I would say that it's a combination of all of that that makes Avicii, do what it's doing now, and it makes it very easy for it to become just a black hole for liquidity, because like everyone sees it, right? Like everyone kind of sees everyone sees the upside. So I think it's important, if you're a founder listening to this show, like go to Avicii Money, go to Ram's Twitter, and look at what he's giving out. If you think that you're generally building something great, right? Like, he has great fundamentals, and he thought that when he came up on our stream, they have great growth metrics, and he knew that coming onto our stream. All he needed to do was talk about it. That's it, and I think, not to just crap on Believe, but just using that as a case study, you had like a chokehold on the industry, bro. Like, you had you were the place for ICM. All you needed to do was just show up on the timeline, do it like Ram. Sometimes you show up in someone's comments, sometimes you do a tweet out. But if you have good fundamentals, you have good metrics, all you need to do is communicate a little bit more, and that opens the door for, amazing things to happen. And we see that with Avicii. I've seen ETH scammers even coming out market buying Avicii, and it takes I don't know, it takes a lot for them to actually buy something off the market.
Yeah, right. It stems from a good product. Ultimately, I mean, good products are easy to sell. I think we've all kind of figured that out by now. And the
last thing real quick, my bad, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah,
I
you're good.
think the Futardio, that whole market with MetaDAO token, or that whole structure with MetaDAO tokens, is really, 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 really important, because people understand that they're actually getting a real piece of this, not something that the team is like kind of promising you about. So I think that's also something that's really important to note. But that, combined with founder communication, those, I would say, are the two largest things that helps with their growth outside the metrics.
Yeah, Josh, do you have any input there?
Man, I go to their Twitter, and every sort of conversation that is in the Twitter sphere, they are, shit posting it. So I think that's just amazing. If you go down right here, this JP Morgan strategy thing, like it's just like, yeah.
Well, they also did the viral apology letter earlier, which everyone copied. So that was pretty cool to see. Let's see if I can find it. They go like, I apologize for making on-chain baking. Yeah, this. And then
Yeah.
I mean, everyone copied them on this. Dear
1.3
spenders.
million.
Like, look at that. 1.3 million, bro.
It's crazy.
So before you even get to great product, you have great social media management.
Presence.
Like,
No, but that comes from community. That comes from community. And then that community comes from founder communication. It's all linked. It's not just one thing over. You don't just magically get 1.3 million views for no reason. That came from them building and constantly communicating. That builds up trust. That builds up really good connection with the community. And once everything is aligned, as Dom says later in this tweet, or he might even said this earlier, he's now like, dude, I want to be an evangelist for Avicii now. Like, I'm incentivized to do that. And that's what happens when you create such a deep connection with the people that support you through your communication, that they just want to evangelize. And that's how that thing got to 1.3 million views.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, like, product came at the right time. Neobanks are super hot. This was like the first shot you really got at owning the rails, right? True ownership. I think when you look at their competitors, we'll talk Santa and Karma for now too. We've had on the show, obviously Santa today. Sure, there's token utility, but this is full ownership of revenues, treasury, voting decisions,
IP.
It's been extremely well received. Yeah, and also like Avicii was early on enough where it was like MetaDAO was still getting ironed out. Like, people were still trying to figure out that was here to stay. I think it was what their third launch. It went the fund that didn't work out. Everyone got resolved with their money. It went Umbra, and then I think Avicii was next after that. And Avicii did like 123 million committed, so very successful. And so it was early enough to where you still had an edge if you knew what you were doing and paying attention. Now, I think everything else that comes from MetaDAO is it's going to have less of that allure because we have diminishing returns. We understand how that works, but there's so many factors.
They had a flat curve raise price, right? Which also I think helps that everyone's in at a specific price versus like bonding curve where you got some people that extract and some that don't.
Yeah. Again, very difficult though, because the gaming there is some people put in a ton of, it's the whale game. And we saw in a recent case, Solo took more money, right? They took $8 million, I think, whereas Avicii took, I want to say 2 million, if I remember correctly. And so again, you run that risk. If you put in a ton of money to try to play a whale game and they take a lot more than they were kind of expecting to, well, you're going to be left at a much higher market cap fill. So like there's a lot of games to play here, but I don't know. I just thought Avicii's fascinating. It's been a very, very good example of how a founder should operate and run. It's been a combination of great product, great timing, time in the market, new primitive when it comes to like MetaDAO. And I think everything just combined to make for probably the most successful sustained token we've seen on chain here on Solana in the last 2 months, month or two, whenever they've launched. So whatever, just wanted to talk about it with you guys. Let's see, anyone comments? Nope.
I think we're good. Let's go ahead and wrap here. I think we went through a lot. We went through a lot of lore around ore. We went through digging in some alpha with Umbra. Did some live research on stream here today, and that's what happens when you come, you watch the show live. You tend to discover things. You tend to, get wind of some information because, hey, look, we're digging into markets just like you guys are. So, yeah, let me, I guess, cover the schedule for the week. Let the people know what they can expect. And let me share.
Potentially expect.
Let me share my screen. Cool. So you want to follow us at MCG Live. Boy, do I like that. Boy, do I love saying that. So I might say it again and again and again. Let me go to our highlights here. I think that's where the this week's schedule is at. Boom. Cool. All right. So today we had Santa and THRT on. By the way, I just got a ping in my alpha chat. Someone just tagged the show notes and said, yo, this is a bid right here. So look, love the show notes. Love that we're seeing that. But Santa, THRT, really great projects. Got them on today. huge. You might want to check out our YouTube. We'll post the interviews there. Tomorrow we have Kaio coming on, and we have their team coming on, our RWA sector there. On Wednesday we have EDEL on. I've been seeing this project around a ton. So I know a few Chads are in that one as well. So
Base play.
Huge, yeah, base play, huge. And look at this, brought to you by a team from State Street, JP Morgan, Airbnb, and beyond. So very nice project. Definitely excited for that interview. Then we have Start Out Fun coming on as well, and I think they're cooking up some things over there. So definitely something you want to check out. Thursday is the question mark. We have Thanksgiving here, so we'll keep you guys updated on what we do on Thursday. But if it does move forward, we have Street, we have Pantheon, as well as Orgo scheduled, and then Friday another project that I've been seeing, Liminal Cash, take the self-custodial revolution mainstream. So a lot of good things there as well. And then we have Poly Market. Hold on. We have Kyle the writer coming on from Poly Market. Wow.
So he's actually one of Poly Market's top traders. So we're gonna kind of do a little bit of different stream there, where we're just gonna pick his brain, and we're all about making money. He is one of the top traders on Poly Market. You can see it's like verifiable, and so he's gonna be giving us the sauce on that. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to Friday. I want to like get the rundown on how to trade, why, what kind of wins and how he calculates. I want to get into prediction market. So exciting stream coming up this week. Again, we're going to have some changes probably to the schedule this week. So you want to follow us at MCG Live, where we go live Monday to Friday. We're starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time now. So we're going to be changing that here in a little bit, but love you guys. Appreciate y'all coming on stream, watching us chop it up. And you also want to follow Asset Dash as well. Let me go to their Twitter account. Breaking news for modern markets. They're covering all markets, and this is a part of the Moby team as well. We're streaming there, so go ahead and check them out. Great alpha, a lot of again news across markets, across multiple markets, not just crypto, that you might want to check out. So
ton
feel
of
free to
news.
give them a follow. Yeah,
I almost see so much news, and it might be a little dense. Like I think it might be a little noisy. They might want to focus on higher signal.
So actually, I asked him about this, and he said the people will see the live Asset Dash live thing, and they'll just kind of see it pop up in their feed and then click on it. So might be some interesting play there, but we'll see.
No, I like the growth hacking.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Follow Asset Dash there, Chill.
Bang. Oops.
Yeah, there we go.
Oopsie daisy.
No, you're good.
Bad boy.
No,
He's gonna be in big trouble.
Hey, yo, Chill.
Yeah. Anywho, appreciate you guys.
I just saw a moment of dawn that I don't want to ever see again. Oh my goodness.
Bad boy.
Bad.
All righty. All right, guys.
All right,
It's
guys,
a Monday.
we're going crazy,
We're streaming for a couple hours. Appreciate y'all tuning in. See you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Be there.
Peace.